possible. Rain chances are small for much of the day, but a little bit better by late this afternoon and this evening. A couple of storms could be strong. There's a marginal severe weather risk. Tonight's low 64. Then tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, scattered showers and thunderstorms, at least from time to time, but many dry hours. Not a washout weekend. We'll be in the low 80s on Friday. I think mid-70s look good for Saturday and Sunday, and a little better rain chance by Monday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
1819 News.
Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth is not happy to find out that a bill was voted down in committee that would have allowed for off-campus faith training for students in public schools. There were two versions of this bill offered by State Representative Susan DuBose and State Senator Shay Shelnutt. The state school superintendent, Dr. Eric Mackey, was opposed to the bill being considered in committee this week. So was the Alabama Association of School Boards. Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth posted on social media that there would be zero taxpayer money used to provide these elective classes for students. He also said that state lawmakers were being influenced by lobbyists to stop the bill from moving forward. Ainsworth said that legislators who let lobbyists influence their positions should be ashamed of opposing such a simple and common sense issue. Ainsworth vowed to not stop making sure that this bill is offered over and over again until students get this elective option within public schools. I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Some of the greatest blessings is just having people that care about you, to have someone that's just going to love you and make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
Mobile Mayor Sandy Stimpson has voiced his preference when it comes to the 7 candidates who are running to fill his shoes this coming August. Stimpson is not running for another term as mayor and is now endorsing District Judge Spyro Cheriogatis as the next best leader for the city. Stimpson says Cheriogatis would understand how to deal with crime as well as assist small businesses. Stimpson is making his opinion known after a public forum with all 7 candidates was held earlier this week. I'm Andrea Tyson.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36A, Equal Housing Lender.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Welcome into the program here on this beautiful day out of Montgomery, Alabama, and things are a rocket in Vatican City as we speak. Crowds still going wild, awaiting the new pope. Apparently, a new pope has been selected. As I was about to ride over here to the radio station, the news broke of white smoke piping out from the Sistine Chapel, and the crowd assembled from nations all over this earth is quite something to behold. As I've been saying in the last few days, after the death of Pope Francis, this is something very old that represents a civilization that's gone through thick and thin, that, yes, has many divides, and the schisms are real, the disagreements are real, the arguments over theology are real. But this is something that still reminds everybody of where we come from and where we might go. When you look here in America, the Catholic Church, where it is seeing resurgence, is mostly with young folks who are embracing tradition. And there's something about that tradition, that sense of being connected to a tradition that goes back hundreds and hundreds, thousands of years. Now, do we live at a time that maybe best lives up to the example the Pope wishes to set, that the Roman Catholic Church would like the Pope to represent? Well, that's a bigger question for another day, and we always seem to be fallen on this side of Eden. Don't kid yourself. Only God's grace can get you there. At the end of the day, all depends on it. So whether you're Catholic or not, though, there still are, in this world that's fast changing, in this revolutionary moment. I think we're going to look back on these years with the technological upheaval, with the changes in the global order, geopolitically speaking and whatnot. I think we're going to look back on this period, if we get through it, as a truly revolutionary time. I've been saying that for a few years now. And though day to day, sometimes it can see ho-hum as you see things trickle out, the slow drip, drip, drip of new information and new news. Sometimes it feels like progress has stopped, that we aren't seeing anything new. But why do we always need something new? Or why can't we get something new that represents something that's at our very roots? That when you look at yourself in the mirror, you see the tendrils reaching back thousands of years, whether you affirm it or not, whether you believe it or not. No matter how you come to that belief in that relationship, if you look in the mirror, you have to admit that what we are as people and what we are as individuals stretches back to the works, the suffering, and this crazy journey through the centuries. So the crowd is still awaiting, the camera fixed squarely on the balcony of St. Peter's, awaiting for who is this fella? Because, well, you know it's going to be a fella. Earlier, as I was riding in, this happened. This was the moment when the smoke started to appear. Like I said, raucous crowd, and they are still going nuts now that we're almost an hour in waiting. We shall see, but that's not the only news this morning, as I will keep a lookout. And of course, as soon as it is announced, as soon as it is revealed, we'll talk about it. And I'm sure you'll see all sorts of breakdowns for those of you who care. But to me, I think the details don't necessarily matter. Tradition marches on with new things. And that's how it should be. Tradition and the new. Tradition and innovation, walking hand in hand. But that's, again, not the only news happening today. Trump and team, Donald John Trump, the 47th president of these here United States, has announced a big deal this morning. That big deal is with what some might call the mother country, if we can even use such words, with the United Kingdom. A massive trade deal, a deal that Biden wanted to get done, a deal that many people have wanted to get done, especially since Brexit all the way back in 2014. So after a decade, after a lot of failed attempts, and really not having the right person at the helm to drive the deal, this deal got done within like 40 days. And it went very swimmingly. And so we can get into the details of that. But in the Oval Office today, the president sitting at the Resolute desk with the Prime Minister of the UK, Keir Starmer, over speakerphone, they announced this big deal. You had the Secretary of Agriculture there, Secretary Rollins, laying out how this is a big deal for farmers and for agriculture around the nation, particularly here in the sweet state of Alabama. Sweet home here. But you're also going to see, well, here we go. We have the new Pope. It's the Cardinals announcing it as we speak. I know all be good to you. Well, he's speaking Latin, so the closed captioning on the TV here in the studio is having a little trouble understanding the Latin here. Let me see if I can find this live real quick so we can at least listen into it together. One moment.
Sancte Romane Ecclesiae Cardinalem Prevost. Qui sibi nomen imposuit Leonem decimum quartum.
Wow, folks, it's an American Monsignor. We have an American Monsignor. Wow. What a surprise. I mean, and this is kind of the stunning. Nobody had this guy on their list. Of course, we'll get the details as this flows out, but an American Pope was unthinkable to many. Oh, as I just mentioned, a lot of the energy in the Catholic Church, there's much around the world, but the growth of youth here in the United States, embracing tradition. Cardinal Robert Prevost of the United States, elected as the new Pope. Did not see that coming. Who did see that coming? 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. But we now have an American Pope. I know a lot of y'all were hoping for Trump or maybe Marco Rubio or somebody as we joked around, but did not see them selecting an American Pope. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this? Okay. Thank you for calling. But you can call in 334-272-9228. You're seeing the entire College of Cardinals there all smiling. And of course, we will get details on this gentleman. But again, it's Cardinal Robert Prevost of the United States, the first American Pope. How about this? I'm going to hit a quick break. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Since 1966, Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches has been more than just a place to stay. It's been a place to belong. For children facing hardships through no fault of their own, our ranches provide more than shelter. We offer a warm home, a loving family, and a future filled with hope. With open arms, we welcome these young hearts, giving them the love, structure, and guidance they need to heal, grow, and thrive in a warm Christian environment. Together, we can give Alabama's children the chance they deserve, a chance to dream, to succeed, and to feel truly cherished. Every donation stays within Alabama, directly impacting the lives of the children who need it most. Join us in making a difference. Visit AlabamaSheriffsYouthRanches.org. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and download our app from your app store. We'd be honored to have you as a part of our mission to lift up Alabama's youth. And remember this, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women.
It's time to show Mom how much you appreciate her with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Mother's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call, 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for Mom. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations, 285-1000.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here. If you were misled or lied to in any way when buying a timeshare, right now is your wake-up call. With the tariffs, economy tanking, and inflation rising, you might need to ask yourself this question. Is owning a timeshare a good idea? With all the economic uncertainty, you need to protect yourself and your family. Don't look back and say, if I'd have only got rid of that stupid timeshare they lied to me about. It's time to stop thinking about canceling your timeshare and finally get rid of it and be smart with your money. At Wesley Financial Group, we've saved 48,000 families an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare permanently or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331. 800-939-1331.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back. Cardinal Robert Prevost, first ever American Pope. He has chosen the name Leo, Pope Leo XIV. He is only 69 years old. Done a lot of missionary work in Peru. He was raised up to cardinal as by Pope Francis. Some saying he is very simpatico with Francis' view. Others saying, though, he appeals also to conservatives within the church. So he's sort of this moderate voice. And because of all his work in Latin America, he is, well, somebody maybe can reach across divides, but a young man for Pope standards. 69 is a very young man indeed. Let's go to Chris. Hey, Chris, how you doing today?
Hey, I believe the cultural shift we're seeing from Europe, the old Europe to North America is dramatic. And I can only imagine the Europeans, even though, you know, they go through the process, that the Europeans have to be seething right now. The fact that they have no longer are controlling the papacy, which is just, I never thought in my lifetime that we'd ever see this.
An American Pope.
And an American Pope, yeah. I mean, this is unheard of. You would never have thought this. And I'm sure, I mean, we can go to the betting market. I don't even think the betting market even had this guy on the list, did they?
I don't think so. At least not high up on the list. I was not hearing his name very much.
Yeah. I mean, they thought maybe an African Pope or an Asian Pope, but a Pope from North America is a dramatic shift of power from Europe to America. I mean, and I think it's ironic, though, which I told you this earlier. I think Trump does have the Tesla time machine. When he put himself as Pope, he knew that there was going to be a North American Pope. Of course, I think him and Dolan are really close. Cardinal Dolan or something like that.
Yeah.
But I believe that, yeah, this is a dramatic cultural shift yet again in our world that will always remember, being a Catholic or not.
Well, and I think this is somewhat a message about the larger issues in the United States as well, because of his extensive missionary experience in Peru. But folks have described him, quote unquote, as a dignified, middle of the road figure with appeals to both conservatives and progressives. And he really is, his personality, he's not a big charismatic. He's very low key, apparently. And born in Chicago, he was actually naturalized. He spent so much time in Peru. He was naturalized as a dual citizen down there. So we'll see, but that'll be interesting. Usually, when the Pope comes to visit, it's hard to understand him. And so having that American identity, I was not expecting this. I was expecting something completely different than this.
The question just comes across, seeing what he's doing, probably the immigration issue is going to come up, and I think that's going to be maybe a point of contention. I don't know. I mean, we'd have to see, but again, this is a dramatic change. And I hate to say it, the old Europe is dead.
Well, good riddance. They need some cleaning up to do. They need to get, and on the heels also of, it's weird to tie these two together, but to see that this new deal between the United States and the UK, it shows we're pulling you away from Europe. You already left Brexit, coming to the fold with the United States. And I think you're going to see more and more of that. And the Europeans are going to have some tough decisions here in the next few months.
They do. It really is. I mean, this is a dramatic social change, and it's accelerated. And, thank God we have somebody in leadership in our country that recognizes that recognizes the effects China are having with diplomacy across the world, and actually going up against them, unlike just taking it and expecting those things just to happen. We're just going to give it up to China. I mean, this is truly a transformative presidency, and I think you're seeing the ripple effects all over the world, even in the papacy. So it's going to be exciting, man. It really is.
Well, we'll see. I mean, this is just, I like the message Bishop Barron was pushing yesterday, that as much as you might think liberal or conservative or whatever, no, how is he in delivering the core message, the good news, the good tidings of the gospel, that Christ is risen and that he is Lord? And I think that's something that reaches across to a lot of Protestants as well. If you focus, the theological disputes will be there. Lately I've been reading up on the old debates between Erasmus of Rotterdam and Martin Luther. And like some of those debates still go on today. That will always exist. But if you can have somebody that focuses on the core message, that's what actually can bring people together.
Yeah. And you're going to bring up, I think for the Catholic Church, who's been losing people, but now this youth movement's coming back, you're going to see a lot of people returning back to the Catholic Church because of I hate to say, Pope Francis was terrible. And then with Ratzinger leaving and all that,
right?
I mean, that looked like a coup, honestly. So to see this dramatic change, hopefully in a positive direction, is going to help out the Catholic Church long term.
Now, I have to throw in a little curveball because I'm me. Did you see what CBS just said this was this morning when they're kind of covering the lead up to this? They said that Cardinals are raw dogging the conclave.
Oh, raw dogging, yes, I did hear.
And I know that's got a new meaning now where it's like you fly in a plane, you have no electronics and no distractions. You just sit there and you focus and you get the job done with no added aids. But come on, guys.
That's not what I tell you, Joe, that's not what I remember.
Right. No, that's not I think the root meaning of that word.
You got to get that Urban Dictionary out, right?
Oh, it's just what an odd time we live in too, where things are moving at such speed. But like I was saying at the beginning of the show, if you can have the new, we need to still progress and find new ways forward as always. But you tie that back into tradition, well, that's the sweet spot.
Yep. And the man speaks English. He's going to come here, hopefully. And what an event that will be.
Yeah.
Maybe during the 250th anniversary of our country on top of that.
That would be beautiful. I mean, right now he's speaking for the first time to the crowd there in Vatican City, but it's, of course, Latin, so I'm not going to throw that at the audience.
Hey, you speak Latin, right? Spanish, Latin, and English. That's good. The trifecta.
Well, I appreciate the call, Chris.
Yeah, y'all have a good.
You too. Again, 272-9228. Again, the news is an American Pope. Somebody's saying, I hope we get a chance to see the new Pope with his MAGA hat on. Now that would be something. I don't know if we're going to see that. Maybe we'll get him a dark Gothic MAGA hat like Elon's been sporting. But no, I think he'll keep wearing the usual pointy hat things. Or, I mean, the Pope has many hats. I don't know what it is with all the hats when it comes to like high-level clergy members. But they love their hats and their fashion and all the things that make them stand out. And I just want to reiterate, I'm looking at a drone shot there of St. Peter's Basilica and the balcony the Pope is speaking from. And when you realize these things stretch back beyond our even understanding, really. I guess you could say, oh, yeah, it stretches back 2,000 years, 1,500 years. Like you could say that, but do you really understand it? And in a certain way, it should strike you mute the tradition. But we'll see. I'm sure there will be some things the new Pope says that people will be overjoyed about, and we'll find a bone to pick with them. Now, as I mentioned earlier, President Trump announced a big deal this morning with the United Kingdom. He did so from the Oval Office. I want to play at least the president's overview of that big deal, that BFD, as some might say. But here is the President of the United States. Again, this was earlier this morning.
It includes billions of dollars of increased market access for American exports, especially in agriculture, dramatically increasing access for all of the products produced by our great farmers. And our Secretary, as you know, of Agriculture is here. Brooke, thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, sir.
You'll let the farmers know. In addition, the UK will reduce or eliminate numerous non-tariff barriers that unfairly discriminated against American products. But this is now turning out, I think, really to be a great deal for both countries, because it'll be really great for the UK also. So they're opening up the country. Their country is a little closed, and we appreciate that. They'll also be fast tracking American goods through their customs process, so our exports go to a very, very quick form of approval, and there won't be any red tape. Things are going to move very quickly both ways. The final details are being written up in the coming weeks. We'll have it all very conclusive, but the actual deal is a very conclusive one. We think just about everything's been approved. So good for both countries. And we'll also receive new market access for American chemicals, machinery, and many other industrial products that weren't allowed. And they'll end up getting products that they'll be able to price, and if they like them better and we make great products, they'll be buying those products, but they were not available in the UK. Furthermore, in a historic step, the deal includes plans that will bring the United Kingdom into the economic security alignment with the United States. That's the first of its kind. So we have a big economic security blanket, and that's very important. And we feel very, very comfortable with that, because it's been a great ally, truly one of our great allies. I mean, a lot of people say our greatest ally. I don't want to insult people by saying that, but I can say it's certainly one of our greatest.
Again, that was earlier today within the Oval Office, and much more to share from that moment earlier. But first, I got to hit another break. This is part of the program brought to you by Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group. And there at the Goodson Group, Bo and his team are ready to help you with buying or selling that property of yours, that home of yours here in the River Region. Bo's been working in the River Region real estate market for 50 years just about now, which is incredible, and a great career. Seen it all, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And, with all that experience, not only can they help you there at the Goodson Group with buying and selling your property, they have management services available should you want to rent out your home. And then the crown jewel there at the Goodson Group is the Bo Goodson Real Estate School, one of the most highly acclaimed and accredited real estate programs here in the great state of Alabama because of that experience I just mentioned. And it's a very interactive course. So it's not like you just sit there and you go through the motions. No, Bo is sharing real life scenarios, getting you involved, thinking things through. And it's a great way to study up to become a licensed real estate agent. Or if you're looking to be a more knowledgeable private player here in the River Region real estate market, or anywhere else for that matter. So check them out today. You can always learn more going to thegoodsongroup.com or give them a call at 551-0225. That's 551-0225. Bo Goodson and the Goodson Group, great sponsor here of the program.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hey guys, this is Todd Clark with River Region Contracting, your premier roofing contractor in Central Alabama. So remember the name, River Region Contracting, for all your roofing needs. We're not affiliated with any other roofing company in the River Region. We've been in the roofing business since 2005. We don't have to buy our leads, and we don't have to knock on doors when the storms come around. We have thousands of satisfied customers throughout Central Alabama. So call us at 334-356-8635. That's 334-356-8635.
Don't you love the feeling of coming home to a clean house? Let Southern Bells Cleaning Service get your home in order. Families in the River Region trust Southern Bells because they know Callan and Jesse will show up on time and believe in cleaning the old-fashioned way. They bring all their own supplies and specialize in full-service, residential, commercial, vacant properties, and construction cleanup. Estimates are always free. Call Southern Bells today at 546-0715 or follow them on Facebook at Southern Bells Cleaning River Region.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center and the Pepper Tree Shopping Center. We've used Blue Water Broadcasting for years, and we attribute our results to what they do for us. If you want results with your advertising, call Blue Water.
Radio works. It's as simple as that. Call us to find out how radio can work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew. President Trump today announcing a trade agreement with the United Kingdom.
Writing on social media, the president called the deal with Britain a full and comprehensive one that will cement the relationship between the United States and the United Kingdom for many years to come. This is the first trade agreement to be announced since Donald Trump rolled out worldwide tariffs at the beginning of April. And it's the first of many deals the administration hopes to sign with other countries. Greg Clugston, the White House.
Meanwhile, the president has confirmed talks will be held this week between the U.S. and China.
They want to make a deal so badly, that I can tell you. But we've been talking, and it's not a question of like pride. Somebody said, oh, who made the call? Who made the call? It doesn't matter. I will tell you, you would have been happy if I gave you the answer to that. But it doesn't matter. The conversation matters, not, how it got set up.
The meeting set to take place in Switzerland. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. Not a bad forecast for today. A good bit of sunshine mixed in with some clouds and a high temperature in the middle 80s. Yes, some isolated showers and thunderstorms are possible. Rain chances are small for much of the day, but a little bit better by late this afternoon and this evening. A couple of storms could be strong. There's a marginal severe weather risk. Tonight's low 64. Then tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, scattered showers and thunderstorms, at least from time to time, but many dry hours. Not a washout weekend. We'll be in the low 80s on Friday. I think mid-70s look good for Saturday and Sunday, and a little better rain chance by Monday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
ASE's 25 and 25 has you covered. For just $25 in closing costs, you can tap into your home's equity. No hidden fees, no headaches, just extra cash. Visit your local ASE Credit Union branch today. Federally insured by NCUA, NMLS 420259. Terms apply.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your cause, your ASE.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Pope Leo XIV continues to speak. Again, going in and out of all sorts of different languages. If you're really interested, of course, you could watch that yourself and go listen to that yourself. I want to go back to this big announcement earlier today by President Trump and team. This is going to be the Commerce Secretary, Howard Lutnick, laying out a little more of the details. And by looking at the details of this new big trade agreement with the United Kingdom, the U.S. and U.K. working together, it might foreshadow what we could see with other countries, and much sooner than you might think. But here is Lutnick laying out what exactly this deal means.
Largest economy in the world and the fourth largest that we export to, right? So it's a huge market, a top 10 market. If you remember Liberation Day, they were at 10% because we have balanced trade with the UK, right? They say they have a surplus, but of course that counts gold bullion, which is, so let's just call it balanced trade. So how do you open up a market in balanced trade? People think it's impossible. They've always thought it was impossible until President Trump came on the scene and changed the way things work. So here's what we've got. We've opened up new market access, ethanol, beef, machinery, all the agricultural products. They've agreed to open their markets, and that will add $5 billion of opportunity to American exporters. So the question is, why would they do that now? Because they've never done it before. And we still have our 10% tariff on, which will produce $6 billion of revenue for the United States. So the idea was, how do they keep their jobs, protect their economy, and do the best for their people while opening the market for us? And the ways they studied it, their team was exceptional, and they tried to figure out the markets that they're importing from other people and try to send them over to America. So why were they always favoring others and not us? And what they've done is they've found the ways to do that so that we have new access, right? But the UK workers are protected. And that was the balance. So we did a deal with them in automobiles. And you know, if you're not building here, we charge you a 25% tariff. But the president, and by the way, I want to make this clear, while Jameson and I worked hard, this was the president's deal. And people think, oh, that's not the way it works. If you got to sit next to him, I have the best deal maker to my left. And if you don't think that we take advantage of him calling the prime minister and getting that deal done, you don't understand who's the president of the United States. So he's the closer. He gets deals done that we could never get done because he understands business. He understands deals. And that's why we're here today. So he agreed they could send 100,000 cars into America and only pay a 10% tariff. And that protects their car industry. And remember, we do 16 million cars a year. So this is only like 0.6%. But for the UK auto people, this is tens of thousands of jobs that the president agreed that he would protect for them. So he made that deal, right? Then steel and aluminum. Right? Their steel business has been destroyed like everybody else has been destroyed by people dumping steel into their markets. And British Steel had announced it was closing down. So the British government, as part of this deal, nationalized British Steel, and they're going to match the kinds of models we do. They'll put tariffs on, they'll put quotas on. They want to do it with America so they can be part of the resurgence of steel and aluminum in America, and that saves them, again, thousands and thousands of jobs. So if you go step by step, aero and commercial planes, they sell Rolls-Royce engines to Boeing. We've agreed to let Rolls-Royce engines and those kind of plane parts to come over tariff-free. And what you're going to hear today is there's going to be an announcement at the UK that they are buying $10 billion worth of Boeing planes later today, but I'm going to let the name of the airline announce it because that's theirs to do it. Part of this deal was always to do it together and to do it strong. And you can see the numbers on this board. Everything about this board works exceptionally well for the United States of America. It lays out the plan that you can work with us in autos. You can work with us with aero and commercial. You can work with us in pharmaceuticals if you have a supply chain that is secure and protected in national security. So we feel really good about the deal. You've heard the prime minister. He feels really good about the deal, right? And we started at 10% and we ended at 10%. And the market for America is better. And this is a perfect example of why Donald Trump produced Liberation Day. People don't understand. He gets things done. in a matter of time. This would have taken Jameson and I 3 years, maybe. And instead, we got it done in 45 days, certainly, because we work for Donald Trump.
There you go. And if you're wondering, well, what does he mean by this chart that they have up there? I'll try to find it real quick, throw it up on the screen. But it lays out kind of the basic, the highlight numbers going on here. Let's pull it up now. Here it is. So you're going to see a $5 billion increase in U.S. exports to new market access. You're going to see $6 billion in external revenue because the 10% tariff is staying on. UK tariffs were about 5.1%. They're now going down to 1.8%. U.S. tariffs were 3.4%, now going up to 10%. And you're going to get unprecedented access to the UK market: ethanol, beef, cereals, fruits, vegetables, animal feed, tobacco, soft drinks, shellfish, textiles, chemicals, machinery, and more. And that a big agreement on steel and aluminum, on pharmaceuticals, on airplanes. This is all pointed right at China. And they've been sending the signal in the midst of all the noise from the get-go here on a lot of this stuff, that you're going to see this as a way to box in China, in particular on key industries like steel and aluminum, like pharmaceuticals. And I believe there's also an AI component to all this. So you're seeing the US and the UK not only make this deal for economic reasons, just pure economic reasons, you're seeing it for national security reasons. And if you essentially get a copy of this, or you have more opened up markets for US producers, while also seeing essentially key agreements on key industries to put China in a box and to shore up supply chains. You do this with India. You do this with many other countries, we'll just put it mildly. But India is top of mind for me. South Korea, Japan. You're really going to start to see something very new that shores up our supply lines, in particular for national security, but also opens up markets for Americans while still bringing in revenue to the United States through the tariff. It's going to be interesting to see what's the next deal to drop, and the next deal, and the next. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Overnight. Do you know which order he's in, the Pope?
Which order? Augustinian.
Okay, I'm not Catholic, so that's like, I mean, what is that?
Honestly,
is that an education order, or what's the sympathetic order? What is it normally?
Or how about this? I'm going to ask Grok real quick. Ask what the Augustinian order is. Founded in 1256. It was attributed to Saint Augustine, or Augustine. It emphasizes communal living, poverty, chastity, obedience, and service to the church. Augustinians run schools, universities like Villanova here in the United States, and seminaries. They are active in social justice, particularly in Latin America, and contribute to Vatican administration, as seen in the guy who was just selected's high-profile roles.
So am I reading communist light through all of this?
I think right now you would put it kind of as a moderate. It's definitely not like the most rock-ribbed conservative traditionalist, but it also is, I mean, you're talking about an order started in the 13th century, in the 1200s. So it's not exactly a new idea.
And now for me, from a PR standpoint, was this not bad timing for Trump to do it at this time? He could have waited for 5 o'clock, maybe.
Well, nobody knew. Trump did all that stuff this morning about 10 o'clock Eastern, and nobody knew when the Cardinals were going to decide anything.
But don't you hate that it's all being stepped on right now, though? It's all just going to get muddled.
No, I don't think so. I think this is just the beginning of the trade deal being rolled out.
Okay. Alrighty then.
Appreciate it, Urbanite. 272-9228. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, this is Crawdad.
Hey, Crawdad. Yep, you're on there.
Thank you. I didn't know if my phone was doing the feedback or not. I heard a lot of feedback.
That was Urbanite's phone.
I want to make sure that mine was not making feedback. when you said the new pope is of the St. Augustine order, are we talking about as in St. Augustine of Hippo?
Yes, St. Augustine of Hippo.
That's pretty cool. I suggest that if you're not familiar with some of this, folks, pull it up, read about him, and he was a phenomenal person and a brilliant person. And I hope, man, that we now are going to have sitting in St. Peter's. I'm not Catholic, but I do know good when I see it. So I wish him very, very well, and all followers, everybody. Amen.
Appreciate the call, Crawdad.
That's best I can do today.
Amen, sir. Thank you, sir. 272-9228. Again, that's 334-272-9228. Let me pull it up here on the screen, too. You have the president, Donald Trump, putting out a congratulations to Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost, who was just named Pope. It is such an honor to realize that he is the first American Pope. What excitement and what a great honor to our country. I look forward to meeting Pope Leo XIV. It will be a very meaningful moment. You got to wonder how soon will that occur. And I think in many ways this is a signal to a lot of different groups here in the West, in the Western Hemisphere. It's a signal to the United States, and of course the politics will play out. This is undeniable. But I think it's also a recognition of a lot of the youth movement in the Catholic Church here in America. So, man, what a packed news day indeed. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Soldier Boy.
What's up?
I was going to ask you what's up, Joey. Joey, where's my question? The mayor said the other day that crime's gone down.
Yeah.
What did we have yesterday? 5 businesses burglarized and broke into on Ann Street?
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, and when I saw those numbers he's presenting, I'm like, I don't know if I buy that. There's, I think, a lot going unreported, and he should be on the show next week. That should be the regular schedule on Wednesday, so we will definitely be talking about that.
5 buildings got broken in their windows and doors outside their business, facing outside. I cannot believe that this happened between 5 and 6, and not one person heard it or saw it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I wish the mayor would come out and say something about it. I mean, 5 businesses. I don't know. You go over there now on Ann Street. Those 5 businesses got nothing but boards up. I mean, it's getting bad, the crime. And he wants to have the audacity to come and say crime's down with his numbers that I guess he makes up.
Well, yeah, like I said, we'll be talking to him next week. So that will be that'll be part of the discussion for sure. I mean, he's obviously going to defend himself and say the numbers are the numbers. And yeah, you can guess what he's going to say, but I'm going to try to stretch the conversation more into I've been telegraphing what I want to talk about. I do want to talk about how we're primed for some economic success here. I do want to talk about the public school system. I just went about doing the new superintendent and what maybe the city plays a big role in all of this. Maybe not officially, but we need good education. And then on the issue of crime, you can haggle over numbers, but what I'm going to try to talk to him about is how do you gain back trust and confidence of the larger police community, not just the guys working there right now, the guys and girls, but the larger community, the larger, say, ecosystem here of law enforcement, because there seems like there's a distrust at the current moment.
Well, here's an interesting thing. You made a good point about we give money to the Montgomery public school system, kind of like we give money to some of these colleges like Harvard, for example. Okay? But we don't have any say-so on that board, a representative with all those millions we give them. It's like turn around and say thank you. Where at least Mr. Trump can say, you know what, shutting it down.
Yep.
Don't go by the rules. But we have no say-so. We just give millions of dollars to this, and they fight like a bunch of wrestlers in the WWE at their school board meeting.
Yeah, it's frustrating, to put it mildly.
Well, how's it that we give them money and that we have no say-so? I never heard of anything like that before. No say-so. And the mayor will tell you, too, we don't have any say-so. But yet we give them money. I'd want somebody on that board that represents the city, a city representative. If I'm going to give you that kind of money, I should have a voice or some kind of input or vote.
Yeah, and I don't know if that middle ground approach it might be worth down the road. This won't happen in the next year, like considering a city system, which is got all. I mean, you can think of all the problems that might come up with that. But if the current system is not working out, and if the city doesn't feel like the county is actually, in particular, the school board is doing what needs to be done after all these years, that might be on the table down the road.
What did our mayor say, our former mayor say? So goes education,
Yeah.
so goes Montgomery. How true.
Yeah, Todd was right
couldn't-
about that.
I mean, he hit it right. I didn't even realize. I mean, it was just a saying when I first heard it. But then after a while, I'm starting to live it and believe it.
Well, we shall see. I got other calls rolling in here, man. I got to run.
My
Appreciate
property
it.
taxes go up. Thanks.
Thanks. Let's go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, it's John.
Hey, John.
Good afternoon.
How you doing?
Wanted to fill you in on something, a reaction anyway, from
Sure.
somebody that has been around it. We have an exchange student from Italy.
Hmm.
In fact, you can see the Vatican from his bedroom window.
Oh, wow.
And he's a devout Catholic. And he is shocked that an American was selected.
I'm shocked.
I am too.
And I think
Didn't see that
it's a big signal saying that I think they're going to lean into the new energy with youth in the church, but they're also, I think, leaning into the whole migration issue and peace issue. I think they see Trump, for better or for worse, as a major force in the world, and it's about time the Vatican actually recognizes America in its place.
Maybe so.
I mean,
He's a devout Catholic. His parents go to church every day.
Oh, wow.
And I've tried to get him I said, look, when we go to Italy to visit you, and we will, I said, you need to get a meeting with me and the Pope. And he said, I don't think I can do that. I said, come on, man, you're next door neighbors.
You're right there.
And I'm a minister, so I'm Church of Christ, but I took him to midnight mass on Easter and all that. So, I appreciate and respect his dedication for sure. Outstanding young man. Credit to his family, but it's going to be interesting when he gets home this afternoon to talk about this, because he was really studying it and trying to figure out who it's going to be and that kind of thing. And it does send a message and a new direction for the church, I think.
I really believe it does. And, I've tried to make clear, maybe I've been too subtle about it. I'm not exactly a Catholic in good standing, but I continue to, I essentially tried to dig into the old arguments, like understand the divides, understand the schisms, like I just said it earlier. I went down a rabbit hole of, what was it? Erasmus, he wrote, and as the Reformation is just kicking up, about on free will, and Luther writes back at him on the bondage of the will, something to that effect. And how those arguments continue to this day, it's fascinating to me. And those will probably continue into the future. I really appreciated what Bishop Robert Barron was saying, that the Pope doesn't need to focus on the political stuff. We don't need to focus on the political stuff. You need to put first things first, which is the good tidings, which is the good news of the gospel. And I think that's what is the most universal thing that connects people, despite, say, different denominations and maybe different points of view of cutting at this thing.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it. Just wanted to chime in.
Well, appreciate you. Thank you, John. 272-9228. Yeah, it'll be fascinating to see how this plays out. They definitely wanted somebody who could speak to an American audience and somebody who knew the country. Well, we shall see. This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And they're at Montgomery Men's Health. They're ready to help you fellas out, especially if you just don't feel yourself anymore. Or maybe you just never got going. There are a lot of young men in their 20s that are they're not sleeping well. They're not eating that much, but you're seeing somewhat at weight gain. Like, you just have no energy, motivation to drive. You have no libido, no sex drive to speak of. Guys in their 20s, if you're experiencing that problem, you shouldn't be. You're in your 20s. This naturally happens as guys get a little older in their 40s, 50s, and of course 60s. But it's men of all ages experiencing these sorts of issues. And if you're experiencing all these across the board, it might suggest low testosterone. So why not get by Montgomery Men's Health? And they'll conduct a testosterone-focused lab workup plus a consultation for only $99. Really, it's a quick blood draw. They ask you a few basic quality of life questions. And if you do, in fact, have low testosterone, they have treatments there that can truly change lives, including on the very same day you find out. After treatment, men can experience higher energy, better gains in the gym, brother, better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns, a faster metabolism, and you usually even notice an increased libido. And you can actually book the same day that you call. And they understand discretion can be a concern for certain men. Guys don't like going to the doctor and whatnot. No, just get by there. They're easy to work with, great to work with. That number, 440-3663. That's 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com to book your appointment today. Well, the first hour under our belt, what a crazy news day, like I said, with the huge announcement of the trade deal between the U.S. and UK, which is really foreshadowing what might be next with other trade deals. It seems to make a lot of sense what they're doing with this first one they've inked up. And then, of course, an hour or so right after Trump's big announcement from the Oval Office, you saw white smoke rising. A new pope selected, and it turns out it will be an American pope. Chosen the name Leo, Pope Leo the 14th, elected as the first American pope. Like I said, what a day, what a day. How about this? Let's hit this break. Second hour coming up.
Joey Clark.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
This is an SRN News special report. I'm John Scott. Chicago-born Cardinal Robert Prevost has been elected the first American pope in history. Correspondent Giovanna Del Orto reported earlier from St. Peter's Square as the white smoke from the chimney of the Sistine Chapel indicated his election.
Just behind me, St. Peter's Square has been erupting in cheers and applause. People are crying, people are clapping. They're watching the smoke pouring out into this beautiful afternoon's blue sky. We're sure that hundreds, maybe thousands, tens of thousands more people will be streaming in to see what's going to happen next and catch the first glimpse of the new pope who has just been elected.
69-year-old Cardinal Robert Prevost will be named Pope Leo XIV. This has been an SRN News special report. I'm John Scott.
Financing a home, especially in today's market, is one of the biggest decisions you'll make for your family. Work with a mortgage company that puts you first. I do. Work with a lender founded on biblical principles like do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. I do. It's Mike Gallagher for the only mortgage company I've used for almost a decade now when financing or refinancing Fellowship Home Loans. I'm friends with the owners, Mike and Brian. I even have them on my show occasionally. I know the care their team puts into every single customer. I can personally tell you that it's a smooth, stress-free process. And that's due to Fellowship's level of service and expertise that puts you in the right loan for your family and your goals. There's a reason Fellowship Home Loans is flooded with 5-star reviews. Whether purchasing a home or a cash-out refi to consolidate some higher interest debt, you can trust Fellowship Home Loans. Start the process. Make the call. 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-MIKE, 800-510-6453. Fellowship Home Loans, mortgage lending by the book.
Nationwide Mortgage Bankers, Equal Housing Lender, NMLS number 819382.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. It's time to get those gardens ready. From seeds to plants to fertilizer, MPM has what you need. Shop MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays, 8 to 1.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Not a bad forecast for today. A good bit of sunshine mixed in with some clouds and a high temperature in the middle 80s. Yes, some isolated showers and thunderstorms are possible. Rain chances are small for much of the day, but a little bit better by late this afternoon and this evening. A couple of storms could be strong. There's a marginal severe weather risk. Tonight's low 64. Then tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, scattered showers and thunderstorms, at least from time to time, but many dry hours. Not a washout weekend. We'll be in the low 80s on Friday. I think mid 70s look good for Saturday and Sunday, and a little better rain chance by Monday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Delray to Publix.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories. The Alabama legislature passed a bill to restrict cell phone usage in Alabama public schools on Wednesday. The Focus Act will prohibit students from using any wireless communication device in K-12 classrooms. The bill will now advance to Governor Kay Ivey's desk to be signed into law. The city of Prattville has paused permits for new package stores, convenience stores, gas stations, and vape shops for 1 year. This moratorium allows the city to review its zoning laws related to these types of businesses. Projects already approved and permitted will not be affected by the pause. An essay contest to choose a new flag for the city of Montgomery has officially begun. Those interested in participating can write a 250-word essay and submit a design drawing to the city clerk. The competition will last for 6 weeks before a committee decides which flag designs will be brought before the city council for their consideration. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
Jenny King, the king of clean, delivers reliable, high-quality commercial cleaning services through a proven franchise model that empowers local business owners. Jenny King's franchise owners receive the training, support, and resources needed to succeed, while clients benefit from tailored cleaning solutions backed by a global brand. Jenny King ensures consistent results, trust, and success for everyone we serve. Go to JennyKingCleans.com and find out how we can help you. That's JennyKingCleans.com.
Jenny King, the king of clean.
Experience the local flavor at Epicure and Jack's Tavern. Their lunch special includes carefully crafted dishes, a drink, and bread for only $9.99 for seniors and $13.99 for others. They prepare every meal from scratch each day using local ingredients. No fast food here, just wholesome, delicious meals made with love. Visit them at Epicure and Jack's Tavern and taste the difference local makes.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Second hour of the program. Beautiful day here in Montgomery, Alabama. I believe Charlie Kirk, y'all know who that is. Very successful young talk show host and activist. He has a scoop out saying our Turning Point Action Team pulled the voting history for Pope Leo the 14th. He's a registered Republican who has voted in Republican primaries when not living abroad. Our data shows he's a strong Republican and pro-life. But of course, the counter argument is he's tweeted criticisms of J.D. Vance and of Trump's immigration policies as well as climate change, wanting more action on the climate. So you're going to see probably what I expect out of, if this guy's a moderate within, say, the Roman Catholic setting, he's going to annoy every which side of American politics for certain issues. And honestly, that ain't the worst thing in the world. We shall see. It really is a play, I think, into the United States for all sorts of reasons. And I think, as I just said in the last hour, this is sort of a recognition of the United States position right now and what's going on, for better or for worse, in the eyes of the church, the resurgence in especially young people returning to the Catholic Church in the United States, but also all the big political issues that are ongoing that we face as Trump, across the board, looks to reset the global order and, well, make America great again. But it's not just making America great again. I think it is going to work out for other nations, these deals. There was a moment where Lord Peter Mendelsohn, British ambassador to the United States, had his say in the Oval Office. And a little moment kind of cracked me up because, well, he mentions that at the last second, Trump woke him up in the middle of the night to really make sure that was done. And it's sort of dry that some of us enjoy. Listen, and this was earlier today in the Oval Office. Excuse me 1 second. We shared this to the stream. All right, here it is. Let's listen in.
Indeed, in hosting us this morning. And thank you very much indeed also for that very typical 11th hour intervention by you with your phone call to the President, demanding even more out of this deal than any of us expected. So thank you for that. The Prime Minister was delighted, obviously. To
Trump laughing at that.
Later tonight. But you took it to another level. And I think the point I would make is twofold. One is that if we're going to rebalance and rebuild international trade in a way that serves all our interests, then we're better doing that together than separately and apart. And that's what we're on a mission to do. But secondly, you've done what you said you would do. You said to the Prime Minister when he came and we visited in the Oval that you would do a good trade deal with the United Kingdom, that you would do it at pace, and that we would be first. And you have delivered that. You know, you've been true to your word. So thank you very much indeed for that. For us, it's not the end. It's it's the end just of the beginning. I mean, there is yet more we can do in reducing tariffs and trade barriers so as to open up our markets to each other even more than we're agreeing to do today. But it also provides us with the platform, the springboard, to do what I think will be even more valuable for both our countries in the future, and that's creating a technology partnership between the United States and the United Kingdom, so that we can harness science and technology in order to create future industries and future jobs. And to do that together in the way we work so closely already in the national security and defense area, we can just take that to yet further areas of science, enterprise, and endeavor. So we're looking forward to doing that in the coming months. You've launched us extremely well today. It just, in my view, as the Prime Minister has said, just shows what two countries who trust each other, who are confident in each other and are familiar with each other can do, not just for ourselves, but for those, the rest of the world, who need to benefit from a bigger and better international trading system.
That is, well, a very good sign. And in particular here in the state of Alabama, you have to think about the agricultural component. You had the Agriculture Secretary, Secretary Rollins, laying out her vision of this. She was in that room earlier today in the Oval Office. Let's listen in to what she had to say to the press.
How important this means to American farmers and ranchers. Specific to the beef, this is going to exponentially increase our beef exports. And to be very clear, American beef is the safest, the best quality, and the crown jewel of American agriculture for the world. So I think a really important part of this deal isn't just the ethanol reducing of tariffs from 19 to 0, which for our row croppers is a huge deal, but also for beef. And as we move forward, I know our incredible trade team is looking at all of the meats, all of the produce, really all of our agriculture exports. And I don't know if there's an industry that has been treated more unfairly and has suffered more than our agriculture industry. So we look forward to, I'll be in the UK on Monday, talking to my counterpart over there for next week. And I look forward to moving that out across the country. The president is
I think we could say that we have the best in the world, best tractors, the best everything in the world. And they say that our agriculture is, second to none, you understand. And it'll be a great asset. People are going to be able to have options, choice, and they'll have more of it. And that usually means lower prices. How about?
Again, this was all earlier today, not knowing that the Pope was going to be announced on the very same day, I'd imagine, but who could have guessed that? This part of the program brought to you by James Cole and Cole Plumbing, and their Cole Plumbing. James and the team are ready to help you out with any and all of your plumbing needs. It could be it's a big leak inside or outside the home. You're like, man, this is a mess. I don't need more of a mess. I need it fixed ASAP. Well, Cole Plumbing understands that. They understand time is of the essence, and they have this unique proprietary pipelining technology that allows them with minimal discomfort to you and your home. That means they're not going to have to dig out a bunch of holes in the backyard, finding a leak outside, or tear out a bunch of drywall inside, creating a muddy mess inside or outside and dusty. It's just no, they don't have to do any of that. With precision and expertise, they can solve the problem there. Of course, it doesn't have to be some major leak or major job. It could be you've got low water pressure issues, or you have a clogged drain. Maybe you want to upgrade. Time for a new garbage disposal. Time for a taller toilet as your knees and hips will give out on you. You don't want it to be a chore. And of course, they're just ready to be on call, ready to help you out, whatever might come up. So call them today, or at least save their number. 279-8919. That's 279-8919. And just remember, folks, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole. Again, 334-272-9228. There's a tweet being sent out saying, breaking, Judge Boasberg of D.C. has blocked the Cardinals' decision on the Pope. Mm-hmm. And we're seeing another fatal shooting here in Montgomery. Man shot and killed on Atlanta Highway in Montgomery. It was about 5 a.m. today at the 5700 block of Atlanta Highway. That's an area near Eastdale Mall and Burbank Drive. It's where a man had been shot, where they found him shot. He was pronounced dead at the scene. So, again, next week we will be talking to the mayor of Montgomery, hopefully, and crime will, of course, be one of the issues. And continued recruitment of police resources, as well as, what are you doing? Continue to work with Sheriff and Aaliyah to make sure the capital city is safe and we can actually continue to grow and build out good things here. A lot of great people here. And in fact, there is a lot of opportunity coming around the bend. But if crime persists and say lack of trust persists between leadership and law enforcement in the wider law enforcement community, that will continue to be an issue that won't help us at the end of the day. As I said earlier, it's not just making America great again that Trump is up to. He also is looking to make America healthy again. And he announced Dr. Casey Means to be the new Surgeon General of the United States. Last second, the day before, I can't remember her name, another woman he had nominated, he pulls her nomination and puts in Dr. Casey Means, who has been a big vocal proponent of what RFK Jr. and so many others are calling MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. Here's a clip not that long ago on Bill Maher's show of Casey Means, just if you've forgotten who this woman is. Let's listen in.
So more than a health epidemic, which is what we have in this country, I mean, health is getting destroyed in the United States, which you don't really talk about because it's not profitable to heal in this country. It's profitable to keep people sick and then drug them, cut them, and bill them, which is what we learn how to do. And really what we have here is a disconnection crisis. And the healthcare crisis is one branch of that tree. We're disconnecting the body into 100 separate parts and not seeing as a unified system. And we're disconnecting the body from the environmental conversation, which actually we're really one and the same. You know, we are totally connected to nature, and in destroying nature through the pesticides and the way we're treating animals, our health is a reflection of what we're doing to the earth.
And Casey Means is, I mean, there's a long Tucker Carlson interview with her brother, Callie Means, is worth your while to go look up if you aren't aware of all of her perspectives. But I think she will be a fantastic spokeswoman, a fantastic Surgeon General for a renewed push about American health, and not just personal habits that people have, but more the systems around what goes into our food, the type of food that's being pushed on Americans, and maybe without them knowing wittingly what's going on. So I think that is a great move there. Good to see Casey Means. Hopefully she flies through confirmation, though, of course, you will always have the opposition, because that's how politics works, come up with something that they're unhappy about when it comes to any appointee by the current president. Speaking of political theater in the Congress, that continued yesterday after this show ended, continued this morning. In particular, the FBI director, Kash Patel. Tell you what, some Democrats really don't like this guy because I guess they see him as the henchman helping to fulfill the authoritarian Trump's vengeance and weaponization of the government. I do love how, you know, the weaponization of the Biden administration being corrected is now weaponization by the Trump administration. Don't you love partisan politics? It seems to somehow excuse all manner of sins. This was yesterday in front of the House. I think this is a woman named Representative Dean, who was an impeachment manager on the second impeachment of Donald Trump. Let's listen into this exchange. Kash Patel was not suffering any attacks in these hearings. Here's a little evidence of that.
Agency. I was an impeachment manager for President Trump's second impeachment. It was a sad, solemn duty. And so I wanted to ask you about that. Mr. Patel, as you and the president continue to weaponize and investigate his perceived enemies, as you follow this blueprint, when can I, a former impeachment manager, expect the FBI at my door?
Ma'am, you want to know who was targeted by weaponized FBI? Me. You want to know how and why?
Well,
you want to know what I'm doing to fix it?
Let me move on.
Well, you should read the book because there's no enemies list on that book.
So
there are people that violated their constitutional obligations and their duties to the American people,
good. You
and they
gave
were
them due
rightly
process.
called out.
I'm
And
changing
you should
topics.
give that book to every one of your constituents so they can read about it.
I won't be doing that.
That's their loss.
During your Senate confirmation hearings, you repeatedly denied having any involvement as a private citizen in the firing of FBI officials who engaged in the prosecution against January 6th insurrectionists, the violent rioters who beat and killed Capitol police officers, and whom you referred to as...
Wait, what officers were killed that day? I don't remember anybody being killed that day. No officers, that is. Let's keep going.
as political prisoners. Since then, multiple whistleblowers have come forward, and we know that you likely committed perjury. At the same hearing, you claimed you were not familiar with Stu Peters, an anti-Semitic Holocaust denier, despite the fact that you appeared on Mr. Peters' podcast 8 separate times. 8 times. And you claimed not to recall. Mr. Patel, my second question is, should we worry more about your memory or your veracity?
We should worry more about your lack of candor. You're accusing me of committing perjury. Tell the American people how I broke the law and committed a felony. Have the audacity to actually put the facts
then
forward
the answer is
instead of
both.
lying for political banter so you can have a 20-second
answer
donation
is-
hit.
The answer is both. I believe that the
The
men and
answer is
women of
you're
the-
failing,
I
not
will
me.
Play my time.
Go ahead.
Wow. Kash Patel, like I said, he's not backing down. I mean, and this continued today. He was on the Senate side, and Senator Patty Murray is going to go after him. And again, Patel holds his own in many ways. And I mean, this is the theater you expect out of this. And in many ways, as I've said before, it is a Rorschach test. You see what you want to see in these things. What I see is a new FBI director who is holding his own against the attacks that you can expect from the opposition. Maybe you think that last clip that Representative Dean scored a lot of points or something. Whatever. This is Senator Patty Murray, her turn at bat against the current FBI Director, Kash Patel.
Gang cases, 3,000 cases against violent.
Well, that's not my question. We know that
Well, you asked if I was weaponizing the FBI, and I am not. I'm giving you the hard, concrete examples of the men and women putting handcuffs on bad people, doing harm to our children and innocent Americans. I do not see weaponization.
You have placed on leave FBI employees responsible for the investigation of January 6th. That sounds political to me.
I have not placed anyone on leave who has not violated their ethical obligation or their oath to the
So
Constitution.
if they were investigating January 6th, you believe they were violating an ethic obligation?
Nope. I think the common theme here is you putting words in my mouth, and I'm not going to tolerate it, nor will the men and women of the FBI.
Damn.
Well, you did place on leave an analyst responsible for investigating Russia's meddling in the 2016 election. Is that politicization? Is that retribution?
No, not if she broke the law or the ethical guidelines. I don't know which case you're talking about, but that's the standard. And we will hold ourselves inwardly accountable, and we will not be strayed from our mission because people think we are politicizing the Bureau. If you want to talk about someone who was attacked by a weaponized Bureau, you're looking at him. And now he's the director of the FBI and he's cleaning it up.
Well, I would just say to everyone who's listening that the FBI needs to be focused on its mission to keep the entire country safe. It should not be weaponized for partisan political gain. Thank you,
We are.
Chairman.
Senator Kennedy.
And that brings us to Senator John Kennedy. And there are a lot of folks saying you just got to watch the whole back and forth between Kennedy and Patel. And guess what? I have that. Folks saying Senator Kennedy's line of questioning is must listen. And as far as judiciary hearings go, with all due respect to United States Senator Katie Britta we had on yesterday, John Kennedy, I think, is the best of them. This guy's always got an interesting, angle, at least an original one. Let's listen in.
Mr. Director, worry not. We'll make sure your agency is adequately funded. This judge you arrested in Wisconsin, she was breaking federal law, wasn't she?
Yes, that's why we arrested her.
She was helping an illegal immigrant escape being taken into custody. Is that right?
Yes, and the field agents decided to open the case, work the case.
And as Americans, do we get to pick and choose which laws we want to follow?
We do not.
If you're a state court judge, do you get to decide you don't want to follow federal law?
No.
And if you violate federal law, you get arrested, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
Yeah.
That's called equal treatment under the law, isn't it?
Yes, Senator.
You remember Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, don't you?
Yes, Senator.
Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. Mr. Strzok worked for the FBI. I think Ms. Page worked for Justice. The Inspector General found in its investigation that they hated President Trump and they really wanted Secretary Clinton to win. Is that true?
That's correct, sir.
And this would be the same same Ms. Page who sent an email to Mr. Strzok with whom she was having an affair. Trump's not ever going to become president, right? Right? And Mr. Strzok with the FBI, senior official at the FBI replied, quote, no, he won't. We'll stop it. Did I read that correctly?
You did, Senator.
Okay. Now, Ms. Page got quit before she could get fired. Mr. Strzok was fired. And predictably, they filed a lawsuit. because in Washington, it's easier to divorce your spouse than it is to fire a federal employee. Why did the FBI give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 to settle a lawsuit?
Senator, I do not know that settlement was reached in the prior administration.
Who made the decision?
The prior Department of Justice.
Who in the prior Department of Justice?
The settlement for that kind of case can only come from the Attorney General, which would be Attorney General Merrick Garland.
So the Attorney General decided to give Mr. Strzok $1.2 million and Ms. Page $800,000 after they were fired after actively interfering in the 2016 election. Is that right?
My understanding is that was a settlement they agreed to.
Pass me the sick bucket, please. The Hunter Biden laptop. In October of 2016, shortly before the election, the New York Post wrote a story that was widely covered talking about Mr. Hunter Biden's influence peddling scheme based on his laptop. A couple of weeks later, Secretary of State, soon to be Secretary of State, Antony Blinken, organized a group of 51 so-called intelligence experts. Had some real rock stars on the list. Jim Clapper, John Brennan, Michael Hayden, Leon Panetta, and they said, oh, no, the story in the New York Post is not true. It's based on Russian disinformation. You remember that?
I do, Senator, as the lead investigator for Russiagate for the House Intel Committee.
Yeah. The FBI had the laptop for 10 months, hadn't they?
They did, Senator.
So the FBI knew right before the election that it wasn't Russian disinformation, didn't they?
And that was confirmed by the Inspector General's report.
Yeah. Who at the FBI refused to let the FBI tell the American people the truth?
I don't have that name in front of me, sir.
Well, would you look?
I will, sir.
I'd like to know. I'd like a name, not a division. I'd like the name. Person with a brain and a beating heart.
Yes, sir.
Did Jeffrey Epstein hang himself or did somebody kill him?
Senator, I believe he hung himself in a cell in the Metropolitan Detention Center.
Are you going to release all the information about that?
Senator, we are working through that right now with the Department of Justice.
When do you think you'll have it done, Cash?
I think in the near future, sir.
Like before I die?
Senator, we've been working on that, and we're doing it in a way that protects victims and also doesn't put out into the ether information that is irrelevant for production of the public, such as CSAN.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I don't know what that last part means. I don't think Epstein necessarily killed himself. That doesn't add up. That stinks to high heaven. But hearing they're actually going through the documents, I don't know. I'm in the camp of we probably won't ever see the full truth of that story, or at least one much of the public will accept. I'll leave it there. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, guys. I was listening in. Thank you for putting Kennedy on there. He's fantastic.
Yes, he is.
And Cash is also, because what I want to say, it played out in front of the whole world, back with Hillary Clinton and her server in the basement getting whitewashed, her husband meeting the Attorney General on the tarmac, then all of a sudden the head of the FBI is giving us a rundown of how guilty she is, but no reasonable person would ever bring charges. And on down the line from there, it's just been, and I hope I'm not shocking y'all, but I guess that comes all the way back to 2015-16 election. And it's just outrageous. And I want to give a thumbs up to Cash. Clean that crap out, because the whole thing about being the FBI is we're going to stop crime. Hell, what they've become, or what with Comey and the other people you mentioned with the text messages, and they got settlements. Oh my God! So you can be somebody against America and draw a check. Damn.
Yep.
That's the whole Democrat Party. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's a big club and you ain't in it. But the guy who was targeted by that big club is now in charge of the club. He's cleaning house, and it's been interesting. I like how feisty he was in response to a lot of the usual attacks. A little more feisty than I'm used to from an FBI director. Usually they kind of just squirm their way through these things. But I appreciate the call, Robert. Thank you as always. Go to line 3. You're on there. Who's this?
Well, Joey.
Hey, James.
How are you today?
Good. How you doing?
I'm okay. Just an observation. As much as comes to light, those things that are supposedly hidden in the dark, like for example, the Russia collusion hoax and this hoax and that lie, those people on the left that are not exposed, that aren't listening to Joey Clark and others that are putting this stuff out there for everybody to see in the bright, hot sunshine. The sad part is those people will never know and will continue to remain clueless throughout. And the good guys, whoever they are, will always be the liars and the this and the that. And am I making sense?
Yeah, I mean, and
right?
like you would maybe know better than me that, I mean, there's still stuff, there's arguments about Carter and Reagan. There's arguments about Nixon, even people that were living at the time that, or you can go back, look at the whole Joe McCarthy era. There's all sorts of, I would recommend Arthur Herman, the historian's book on that. He doesn't say McCarthy was a great guy, but the whole story of it was McCarthy going overboard that made unpopular is nonsense. It was when McCarthy went after Eisenhower as a commie. But I guess to your point, these narratives that get spun up for political reasons, they don't die. They stick with people.
Oh, no, they do not. And, well, for example, McCarthy. You want to go back that far before my birth, playing dirty here. It is thought by many. The idea is that with his search and to try to wring these communists out of the State Department or the State House or wherever, that they were actually driven underground, and that's how they managed to accomplish what they have. And it's like the abortion issue. It's gone back to the states, but now many of those states have wrote in some heinous laws. So there's more abortions taking place than was previously. And what I'm getting at is just because Trump is in now, the fight is not over.
Oh, of course not.
Okay? In 4 years, that's what we ought to be looking at now. It's who or we're going to ask for then. Remembering the whole time now, the good Lord still has providence and sovereignty. And we get what we deserve, Joey.
Well, that's certainly true.
Keeping that in mind. And of course, as always, have a nice day.
Appreciate it, James.
Ta-ta.
272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by Josh and Leslie Ryder. They're at Dylan Rings. And I was looking at the Facebook earlier today for Dylan Rings. That's DYLAN, Dylan Rings. And it's reminding folks that Mother's Day is this Sunday, asking, have you gotten the moms in your life an expression of thanks for all of their love and dedication to you? Moms deserve more than we can ever give back to them. Make sure to tell the moms in your life Happy Mother's Day this weekend. And I'm seeing, oh my goodness, photo of Leslie here with her kids. And it's just, well, Happy Mother's Day early here, there, Leslie. And I'm sure your mom might love something there from Dylan Rings. And Leslie puts together that great selection herself, an incredible inventory of from high-end, top-of-the-line jewelry to, that everyday jewelry. Still looks beautiful, still looks great. Maybe it could be a more fun thing. It doesn't have to necessarily break the bank to be something that somebody loves. It really is, to sound cliche, the thought that counts. Or maybe you want to go all out, do custom design work that Josh himself will do for you. Or it could be you're just looking to, find that exact right gift. Maybe take your mom with you. That could help them out. Like, it could be something like a spa treatment. Like, there's a piece of jewelry that mom wears all the time. And honestly, she's been wearing it like every day for years and years and years on end. What if that favorite piece of jewelry of hers could shine and shimmer like it's brand new again? They can do that sort of thing there at Dylan Rings. So if you're thinking about Mother's Day gifts, what are you going to do to honor your mother? Well, Dylan Rings could help you out with that. Just stop by 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery. That's just off of Atlanta Highway, sort of the back end entrance into the AUM complex. And be sure to tell Josh and Leslie not only Happy Mother's Day, but be sure to tell them that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
For reliable electrical services in Central Alabama, trust the experts at Crosby Electric. Crosby's licensed and insured electricians are ready to tackle any project for your home. From troubleshooting, repairs, to installing new lighting and preventive maintenance. And Crosby understands the need for quality service for small business. Crosby is big enough for the largest job, yet small enough to bring real value. Visit CrosbyElectric.com to schedule your service. Crosby, powering Central Alabama with excellence.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. At PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man. Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Ernest. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. I see. Yes, he is our preferred money man. The money man with the money plan. You've been paying attention. Well, could you give us those numbers one more time? 334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man. Oh, what's that? I'm not an elk. Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you? Knights of Columbus. I am not even going to make a comment. Well, the baby liked it.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. an equal housing lender.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. You're thinking of selling your home. Here are several ways to improve the look of your home and possibly the value. Number one, improve the curb appeal with trim bushes and cut the grass. Repaint the exterior where needed, and if needed, paint your front door. Number two, declutter the inside of the home by removing items that are not needed off countertops, dressers, and the den. Three, paint walls and trim where needed with a fresh coat of paint in a light color that will show off your home. Four, clean your oven and microwave inside and out, make it shine. Number five, professionally clean carpets or shine the wood floors with a polish or Bono. Six, clean out all closets or unwanted clothes, shoes, belts, hats, and donate them to a local charity. Finish any leftover repairs now, doorknobs, light bulbs, and closet doors. For a complete list and an in-person evaluation and consultation, call Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group, 221-2883 or 551-0225.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Wiley Sanders Truck Lines, where over-the-road dump truck drivers are needed right now. Home twice a week and every weekend, must leave early on Sunday with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Call them now at 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. Not a bad forecast for today. A good bit of sunshine mixed in with some clouds and a high temperature in the middle 80s. Yes, some isolated showers and thunderstorms are possible. Rain chances are small for much of the day, but a little bit better by late this afternoon and this evening. A couple of storms could be strong. There's a marginal severe weather risk. Tonight's low 64. Then tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, scattered showers and thunderstorms, at least from time to time, but many dry hours. Not a washout weekend. We'll be in the low 80s on Friday. I think mid 70s look good for Saturday and Sunday, and a little better rain chance by Monday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More is your low price leader for everything you need for flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies. For the best prices on luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, flooring installation supplies, and more, shop Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey to Publix.
When news happens, you'll hear about it first. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Rounding the corner here in the second hour. This part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services, and they're at Pest Pro Services. Ashley and the fantastic team there are ready to help you with any and all of your pest control needs. Of course, that's basic pest control services. They'll get you on a regular schedule and get to know them. They get to know your property, and they're ready to help make sure that house is jam up and jelly tight, as the song says, when it comes to those little critters getting inside. And of course, they can also provide you yearly, annual termite protection. If you have not already had an inspection for termites, if you don't have protection down, you are playing with fire, a very costly problem down the road. And of course, they can also help you with mosquitoes, which will only get worse the hotter it becomes. But it feels beautiful these days. The hotter it becomes, the more we get this rain rolling through, those mosquitoes are going to start to flourish. And even, you see the city spraying like the street here in Montgomery. That's not hitting your backyard. And it's usually probably if you've invested in your house where you spend a lot of time after a great dinner, maybe you got a great pool out there. Instead of having to spray yourself or light up those candles that don't work, why not have Pest Pro come out and treat the problem at its source? And it's not like they just show up once and you got to hassle them to get back out there or remember yourself. No, actually, they'll get you on a regular schedule. I believe it's about 8 times a year they come out at peak mosquito season to make sure those mosquitoes are not bothering you. So y'all check out Pest Pro Services today. You can always learn more going to ppsriverregion.com or just searching for Pest Pro Services on Facebook, or just call them direct, 265-9990. That's 265-9990. When you want to know, call a pro, Pest Pro Services, and be sure to tell them that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you. Let's go to line 1. You're on there. Who's this?
Well, hello.
Hey, how you doing?
Well, I reckon I'm doing all right. I'm riding down the road. Ain't hit no ditch. Ain't nobody hit me.
Well, that's all right then, Paul. What's on your mind today as you've been riding down the road?
Been in and out of cars, just got back there a little bit, enough to catch a little bit about Senator Kennedy and Mr. Cash Patel. Boy, that was a good one, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, and the walk down memory lane was useful, but the whole Epstein thing, I'm like, what are they actually going to reveal here?
Well, here's my thing on a lot of the stuff that they've been trying to get out about JFK, MLK, and Robert Kennedy for eons and eons. The people who was in power at that time, most of them are dead and gone. And if they're not dead and gone, nothing will ever happen other than their name being slandered a little bit 60 years after it happened.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I ain't going to try to say his name because I'll say it wrong. But that man had a lot of names in his bag that he would take down with him. They already got him under lock and key. Why is he going to kill himself? Does that make any sense to you?
No, it doesn't make
don't
sense.
to me.
And especially how the cameras are turned off and the guards are asleep and like, come on, man. Come on.
Something just smells to high heaven, don't it?
Yep. And I get why the FBI director Cash would say, no, I believe what our government says, the official story, but we'll see as they dig more into it. And honestly, these folks that got away with all this stuff for years, if not decades, it's not like we're going to catch them. And a lot of people think this was like a 90s thing. This was a sort of intelligence operation that existed before the internet was really big. And so it kind of wore out its welcome as more and more people could communicate about things, and the jig was up.
That kind of goes back to what you were bringing up as far as McCartney. Now, some of this stuff I know for a fact goes back before my birth in the 40s and the 30s. All right. Now, we won't never get to the bottom of all that because those people are gone.
Yeah.
But I'm going to ask you something off air and give somebody else a minute, if you don't mind.
Okay. Well, if you could hold on, I gotta keep on trucking here for a second.
I know.
Okay. Thank you, Paul. 272-9228. That's 334-272-9228. We have a little more Cash Patel jockeying with, or jousting, maybe is the word, jousting with Senate Democrats. This Democrat in the Senate, Jeff Merkley, I don't really know him well. He's apparently a senator from Oregon. So let's listen to this exchange real quick. Again, this is Jeff Merkley of Oregon trying to cross-examine Cash Patel.
Consideration. Director Patel, you're familiar with the Fifth Amendment.
Yes, Senator.
And it is really the freedom clause of the United States. It was 4 years into being a nation when Congress and the states said, hey, we have to make sure that there's not an over-aggressive government in the future that deprives us of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. And you're familiar that that applies to all persons in the United States.
Yes, Senator.
So there's been a lot of concern about the several hundred immigrants who were swept off the streets of America and sent to El Salvador without due process. And does that concern you?
Senator, I'm not in a position to comment on whether or not they were given or not given due process or are supposed to be afforded due process. All the FBI did and all the FBI will continue to do is arrest those that have violated the law.
Okay, but to arrest, you have to investigate. Have you launched an investigation of this violation of the Freedom Clause of the U.S. Constitution?
Senator, I don't know that I agree with your characterization.
Well, that was my first question, whether or not you agree with the Fifth Amendment and are prepared to defend it. It is your job to investigate crimes.
Yes, I agree with the Fifth Amendment. I agree with the entire Constitution, and the men and women at the FBI decide.
So are you going to launch an investigation of the reported violation of the due process of several hundred individuals?
Again, Senator, it's not for me to call the balls and strikes on it. The men and women at the FBI who are trained to open investigations will make those calls.
So you have no influence over whether an investigation is opened?
I have influence over it, but you're asking me a constitutional question. I'm not a constitutional
Well,
scholar.
it's actually not it's a
Yes,
question
it
also
is.
of law.
But your position is that every one of those individuals is by constitutional right afforded due process. I don't know the answer to that. I'm
You
telling
don't, you haven't read the Constitution?
It's just so obvious. It's just so plain as day. You know, after doing this for over a decade, I'm just so tired of this crap from the right and the left. Well, it's just obviously right there. Then why do we even have courts? Then why do we even have lawyers? If it's so simple, if it's so plain language simple, fine. Let's fire a lot of lawyers. Let's get rid of a lot of these folks that talk about legal matters as pundits for a living. Just get them out. We don't need you. But honestly, there is some nuance to this. It's not like every single one of these people requires a jury trial. When you use the word due process, it means so many different things, obviously. And that due process is also subject to the laws passed by the Congress and signed by the president and interpreted by the courts, especially laws that were passed like in 1789. What sort of due process is afforded to an alien enemy? It's not like, well, yeah, this is like Schoolhouse Rock. I'm just a bill on Capitol Hill, derp. No wonder these people are so unpopular. You let in tens of millions of people into the country, and then all of a sudden, now you're worried about due process. You facilitate changing the fabric of this nation, and all of a sudden you're now concerned about due process, especially for folks that have done awful, awful things. Yeah, a lot of these people should be afforded due process, maybe like a habeas petition. What's that even mean? Does that mean this has to be drawn out for days and weeks and months? Or maybe you could have a judge look at it and go, yeah, right, no, you don't have the right to stay. How many judges, how many removal orders need to exist before you can take somebody out of the country? It's just great. Anyway, I got to hit a break. I'm even sorry that I played that. I apologize to myself. I'm triggered. Anyway, we'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, I'm Allison Chandley, Account Executive with Blue Water Broadcasting. Why should you advertise with us? Did you know that more Americans listen to the radio than use Facebook each week? Did you know that 77% of listeners would try a brand or product endorsed by their favorite radio personality? Contact me, Allison Chandley, by going to bluewaterbroadcasting.com to find out more. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/radio, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
It's time to show Mom how much you appreciate her with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Mother's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call. 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for Mom. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations 285-1000.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
The premier place the River Region turns to for news, weather, traffic, and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. This part of the program, in fact, the entire hour, as you just heard, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage, and they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon, both awesome. They can help you out with purchasing a home. You want to go through that home buying process. It all starts with pre-approval. You're setting yourself up for a broken heart if you go house shopping. You fall in love with a particular house and you try to engage with the seller, and all of a sudden you realize, oh, wait, I'm not pre-approved. So they're not going to take you seriously. You know what's going to happen while you're trying to go back and go to that first step, and somebody else is going to snatch up that house. Yeah, that's no fun. It's heartbreaking indeed. Why not work with Alabama Home Mortgage first? And they'll tell you pre-approval is the first step, so you can understand how much home you can really afford, help you with negotiating and going forward through your shopping. And of course, they'll walk with you every step of the way from pre-approval all the way to closing day there at Alabama Home Mortgage. They can also help you with a great refinance deal. Maybe you're looking to reduce monthly overhead costs, especially if you enter into retirement anytime soon or already in retirement, excuse me. Or maybe you're looking to get credit card debt off your back or just reinvest in your property, yourself, your home. They can help you there. Alabama Home Mortgage. Call them up today. Start that conversation at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can visit them on the web. Apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. I don't know if I could stand much more of this clip, but I'm going to keep going with this. Again, this is Jeff Merkley. Oregon already don't like the guy. And Kash Patel going toe-to-toe in the Senate earlier today.
I've got it right here, but what you're saying is that every single one of the illegals that was sent down to El Salvador is supposed to be given due process pursuant.
Yeah, that's what the Constitution says. It says
doesn't
no person.
say that.
It does say no person. Yeah, I'll encourage you to read it because it's also been affirmed by the Supreme Court repeatedly. In the case of Miranda versus Arizona, held the right of all individuals, regardless of citizenship status, the Supreme Court in Reno versus Flores. I mean, but it's the plain language of the Constitution. It concerns me that you're not familiar with the core concept of due process applying to all persons as written in black and white in the Constitution.
As the first public defender who's ever served the FBI as its director, I am more aware of due process than any predecessor in my seat.
Here.
You're delineating between removal proceedings and criminal acts. My job is to investigate criminal acts. That's what we do.
You are aware that the Fifth Amendment refers to taking away liberty. And when people are arrested on the street, detained and sent out of the country, that their liberty has been taken away.
Senator, that is a constitutional question that you are asking me to answer. It's not for me to answer.
The question has already been answered by the Supreme Court that they're protected. Therefore, it's a violation of law. And it's your responsibility to open an investigation. And you're saying today you will not do so?
I am not the agency involved in removal proceedings. That is a different branch of government.
So if an agency other than the FBI violates the law and the Constitution, you will not investigate because it's a different agency?
I will investigate every violation of law.
Well, you have, but you just said you're not investigating.
No, you and I are in disagreement on what is a violation of law. I have yet to hear from the Supreme Court your position as you have adjudicated it.
Well, very, very interesting because the Supreme Court's been very clear, and I had heard you were trained in the law, so I expected maybe you would try to uphold it. You also took an oath to the Constitution.
Thank you for the reminder.
Well, it's important to remind you since you're apparently unfamiliar with the very basics of the core protection of freedom.
I get so tired, and it's especially anybody can do it, but the liberals do it so well. They do this sort of pretentious. Sir, Jeff Merkley, you're a dick.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Cardinal Robert Prevost has been elected the first American Pope in the 2,000-year history of the Catholic Church. Prevost took the name Leo XIV. The U.S. and Britain announcing plans for an important trade deal, likely lowering the financial burden from President Trump's tariffs while creating greater access abroad for American goods. The president says the agreement would lead to more beef and ethanol exports to the U.K. The number of Americans applying for unemployment benefits fell last week despite heightened uncertainty about how President Trump's tariffs will impact the U.S. economy. Jobless claim applications fell by 13,000 to 228,000 for the week ending May 3rd. That's according to the Labor Department. The Dow up 485 points, the NASDAQ adding 300. This is SRN News.
Charlie Kirk here. I've been thinking, why does it feel like losing weight is harder than ever before? Mixed messages, fad diets, and quick fix solutions. Many people are left stuck and exhausted trying to fight a battle they can't seem to win. If you feel this way, you're not alone. I used to feel that way too. But let me tell you, it's not your fault. Your body is working against you, and delaying action only makes it harder. I took a step 2 years ago and called PhD Weight Loss and Nutrition and lost 40 pounds. I feel great and have kept it off. If you are ready to make a change for life, call 855-696-2020. That is 855-696-2020 to schedule your weight loss consultation. The first 11 callers who mention healthy will get 2 free weeks added to their weight loss package. Call 855-696-2020 and mention the word healthy. Visit them at myphdweightloss.com. That is myphdweightloss.com. It works, everybody. Check it out at myPhD Weight Loss.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by MPM Feed and Seed. It's time to get those gardens ready. From seeds to plants to fertilizer, MPM has what you need. Shop MPM Feed and Seed in Prattville, 1313 Highway 31 North. Open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, Saturdays, 8 to 1.
Rich Thomas Weather. Well, hi, everybody. Not a bad forecast for today. A good bit of sunshine mixed in with some clouds and a high temperature in the middle 80s. Yes, some isolated showers and thunderstorms are possible. Rain chances are small for much of the day, but a little bit better by late this afternoon and this evening. A couple of storms could be strong. There is a marginal severe weather risk. Tonight's low 64. Then tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, scattered showers and thunderstorms, at least from time to time, but many dry hours. Not a washout weekend. We'll be in the low 80s on Friday. I think mid-70s look good for Saturday and Sunday, and a little better rain chance by Monday. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
ASE's 25 and 25 has you covered. For just $25 in closing costs, you can tap into your home's equity. No hidden fees, no headaches, just extra cash. Visit your local ASE Credit Union branch today. Federally insured by NCUA. NMLS 420259. Terms apply.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your cause, your ASE.
1819 News.
There's been a crazy development in the ongoing effort to change the Birmingham Waterworks Board. Just hours after Governor Ivey signed a bill into law that restructures the makeup of the Birmingham Waterworks Board, the board met and voted to sell its assets to the city of Birmingham. State Representative Wandalyn Gavan didn't want the bill to be passed within the state legislature. However, in this case, she posted a video questioning why the board would take this kind of action after it was signed into law.
Why the Birmingham Waterworks Board would call a meeting, go into an executive session, come out and vote to sell to the city of Birmingham for $1 consideration, the Waterworks Board, in which they have no authority because they're no longer a board under law, period. Make this make sense. This is one of the worst displays of leadership. It is the worst demonstration of administration on behalf of Birmingham Water, former board members of the Birmingham Waterworks Board, as well as those in leadership in and around this. This is ridiculous.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness license plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org.
Enterprise police have located an elderly woman who went missing on Tuesday of this week. 81-year-old Mary Grimes was located and safely returned to her home on Wednesday afternoon. I'm Andrea Tyson.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Hello, I'm Mr. Ben. If your vehicle has seen better days, fear not, help is on the way. Mr. Ben's Auto Spa Express has added a professional detail shop. Specialized techniques and products are used to get your vehicle back to showroom shape. Hand washing, waxing, stain removal, odor removal, shampooing, minor scratch removal, and more. Mr. Ben's Auto Spa Express, next to Fraser Church on the Atlanta Highway. Come by for a free estimate. Look like you've been to Mr. Ben's.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
In a democracy.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final hour here of the program. I'm Arrow's Joey Clark. Now let's play a little game of compare and contrast. Because, I mean, we did this all throughout, well, at least early 2024. Let's compare Donald John Trump to Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. from clips from today. So let's start with President Trump. This was in the Oval Office. And he's talking about, well, the economy and where things are going to go, surrounded by his young cabinet, or at least his very capable cabinet. Let's just listen. This is Trump earlier today. This is how he is carrying himself. Keep in mind, not just the content of what he says, but how he delivers it, how he, again, carries himself. And then we'll get to Joe Biden today on The View.
Very big factor is going to be the tax bill that we have right now, the one big beautiful bill, as we call it, which is all encompassing, biggest tax cuts ever in history, bigger than even the first time. And the incentives, even great for the UK, because it'll make us so strong that we're going to be doing more business with you. It's a very important element for taxes, for every aspect, regulation cuts. That bill is, I believe it's the biggest bill of its kind ever in the history of this country. And Speaker Johnson and Leader Thune have done an incredible job. I mean, I'll let you know we have to get a vote, but we have a lot of support for that bill. And if that happens on top of all of these trade deals that we're doing, this country will hit a point that you better go out and buy stock now. Let me tell you, this country will be like a rocket ship that goes straight up. This is going to be numbers that nobody's ever seen before. That's a very important element of all of this. You know, if we get that, if you don't, and the Democrats are fighting it only because they want to fight. They have Trump derangement syndrome. You know, if it was somebody else, they wouldn't fight. If you had a normal person, if you had some stiff sitting behind you, they'd be fine. But they have Trump derangement syndrome. You know, Senator Schumer's become a Palestinian. Wow. I don't know when they're going to give him the ceremony, whatever the ceremony may be. It's terrible what's happened to the Democrats. So very, very important element of everything, of what we're doing, unrelated to today, but related in the sense that we'll do, if that passes, we'll do even more business with the UK. We'll have so much. It's the biggest tax cut in history. It's going to make our country zoom. It's going to be incentive, as you know, with the deduction for basically for work. You work, you build, you plant, etc. Your deduction. It's going to be the biggest. It's the biggest bill of its kind ever passed. Maybe the biggest bill ever passed. That's why we call it the one big beautiful bill.
So that's just Trump answering one question. He's doing this every day, it seems like, from the Oval Office. He's answering all sorts of different questions on all sorts of different issues. Often doing it with a little bit of wit and some barbs thrown in there, some jokes thrown in there. So let's now go to Joe Biden on The View. And of course, Joe Biden couldn't do this alone. He had to bring his handler, his wife, Jill. Just listen to this. Just watch this. And think about the bullet we all dodged. And the fact that this guy claimed to be president for 4 years. Absolutely crazy. But here are the squawking harpies of The View interviewing the Bidens.
Mr. President, since you left office, there have been a number of books that have come out deeply sourced from Democratic sources that claim in your final year there was a dramatic decline in your cognitive abilities. In the final year of your presidency. What is your response to these allegations, or are these sources wrong?
They are wrong. There's nothing to sustain that, number one. Number two, think of what we're left with. We're left with a circumstance where we had an insurrection when I started. We did not sense a civil war. We had a circumstance where...
Oh, please give it a rest. I said the next day on January 7th, this was awful. This was stupid. This, for all sorts of reasons, including political ones. But please stop comparing January 6th to the frickin' Civil War. Hundreds of thousands of people died in the Civil War. Stop comparing January 6th. That's just not even mentioning it. To Pearl Harbor, to 9/11. Like, it was none of that. None of that. Not even close. Trump was obviously, in that first clip I played, a little bit hyperbolic. This is going to be the biggest, best, most wonderful thing ever, and only I know how to do it. Obviously, he exaggerates on all sorts of things. Obviously. But essentially going, well, this hasn't happened since the Civil War, and I'm not inclined.
We were in a position that the pandemic, because of the incompetence of the last outfit, end up over 1 million people dying. We're also in a situation where we found ourselves unable to deal with a lot of just basic issues, and which I won't go into in the interest of time. And so we went to work, and we got it done. And one of the things that and
Alyssa, one of the things I think is that the people who wrote those books were not in the White House with us, and they didn't see how hard Joe worked every single day. I mean, he'd get up, he'd put in a full day, and then at night I'd be in bed, reading my book, and he was still on the phone, reading his briefings, just working with staff. I mean, it was nonstop. It's the White House. Being president is not like a job. It's a lifestyle. It's a life that you live. You live it 24 hours a day. That phone can ring at 11 o'clock at night or 2 in the morning. It's constant. You never leave it.
Yeah.
And Joe worked really hard. I think he was a great president. And if you look at things today, give me Joe Biden anytime.
That's worth the invitation to come to the show.
God, The View has been rotting women's minds for generations. You know what could improve The View? Men that aren't Biden. God, The View has continued to set women back forever and forever. Corporatist blather. This is why y'all lost. Because this is still the venue you tune into. Anyway, you can compare and contrast the two. Joe couldn't even finish the frickin' point to defend his own administration. He had to rely on Jill saying, it's a really tough job and he stayed up all night reading things. Y'all keep doing this. Keep doing the media tour. Keep trotting out Joe. With this weird fight that's going on within the Democratic Party. Like, let's get Kamala out there too. And like, keep doing it. Keep relying on the old tricks. And the loser. The guy who was apparently so terrible whooped your ass in the last election. Whooped it good. And you better believe a few months from now, you can say, oh, it's so awful. What's going on? Well, we'll see. We'll see. Keep it up. I don't think you're going to find that you're very convincing to most people, especially young people. Come across as old, aging boomers. That's what you come across as. Anyway, 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. I don't know if you could really call it a conversation. It's more a harangue, a rant, a rave. But if you haven't heard, there's a new pope today. Pope Leo XIV, born Robert Francis Prevost, born in Chicago on September 14th, 1955. His father was a U.S. Navy veteran who fought in World War II. His mother was a librarian. Indeed, folks, first ever American pope. He completed his secondary studies at the Minor Seminary of the Order of St. Augustine, or Augustine, before earning his Bachelor of Science in Mathematics at Villanova University. Prevost speaks multiple languages, including English, of course, Spanish, Italian, French, and Portuguese. He probably throws in a little Latin as well. He spent much of his career in Peru, serving as a missionary and seminary teacher. He was appointed by Pope Francis in 2023 to recommend bishop nominations worldwide. He is, again, the first American-born pope in history. He has, of course, shared pro-immigration posts on his X account in the past, and also, though, opposes the promotion of gender ideology because it is, quote, confusing because it seeks to create genders that don't exist. He previously called out Western news media for fostering sympathy for beliefs and practices that are at odds with the gospel. He specifically called out the homosexual lifestyle and alternative families comprised of same-sex partners and their adopted children. So he's going to be one of these guys that's probably going to annoy partisans. But as far as a Catholic goes, seems like he's fairly straight down the middle. Of course, we'll see. We'll see. But that broke this morning that we now have a new pope, Pope Leo XIV, the first ever American pope. Didn't expect that. I don't know many people who did expect that. Now, shifting gears here to the state level. God, thank God Biden lost. Thank God his own party. You know what? Thank you, George Clooney, for courageously writing an op-ed or something. God. Just that little bit of walk down memory lane, seeing the Bidens together, still making their case. It's just pathetic. So I need to shift gears away to some news that Jeff Poore got on his show earlier today. with United States Senator Tommy Tuberville, with Coach expected to announce a run for governor sometime this month. Speculation is mounted about Lieutenant Governor Will Ainsworth's response, whether he'll be in a run for the Senate or for governor. Well, Ainsworth told Jeff Poore this morning, I really don't have that much of an interest in running for Senate. I think the only thing that I would consider running for is governor. Obviously, there's some big names out there, Ainsworth said, but hey, I've been the underdog before, and if that happens again, that would be a lot of fun. And that's always kind of where I thought I could help the state the best as governor. But we'll see what happens. Ainsworth went on to add, I can tell you I really have never had a desire to serve in the Senate. My heart's in Alabama, and certainly I've got a lot of respect and I'm thankful for the people that serve in D.C. But for me, the only office I would consider running for is governor. And I've got to figure out if that's what I want to do and look at it, okay? If that's what I want to do, is there a path to victory and what that looks like? And can we make a difference? And can we help people? And can we make the state a better place? And if that's the case, then we'll try to make our case to the people of Alabama. So it sounds like even if Tuberville announces that Ainsworth is going to run up against Tuberville, and don't underestimate the fella. Now, I don't know how you beat Tuberville's name ID and just Tuberville's ability to connect with the people of this state. But a lot of people have counted out Will Ainsworth before, and that's made others look like fools. So we shall see. But interesting wrinkle there as we all await. What will Coach Tuberville do? Will he announce re-election to run for a second term, another 6-year term in the United States Senate? Or will he seek the governor's chair? A lot of people saying he's going for governor. I don't know if it's exactly settled just yet. I mean, you could read behind the scenes, like, hear the scuttlebutt behind the scenes and read between the lines. And has he already hired people? Are the polling firms working hard, trying to figure out exactly what the issues might be? Yada, yada, yada. But we'll see. We will certainly see. This part of the program, again, brought to you by Dylan Rings, and they're at Dylan Rings. Josh and Leslie Ryder are ready to help you with any and all of your jewelry needs. Hey, gentlemen, could be you got a watch and you want to get that watch repaired or cleaned up, or it could be you need a new battery, just something that simple. They can help you with that at Dylan Rings. Maybe you have a bunch of old jewelry laying around that you don't really wear, but it's been passed down. You've always known this is probably valuable, but you don't know exactly how valuable it is. They can do appraisals there at Dylan Rings. Of course, they have an amazing selection Leslie puts together, great inventory. And so from high-end to everyday jewelry pieces, they have something beautiful for you to pick out. Josh does custom design work as well if you want something truly unique. And don't forget about the spa treatments. Don't forget about the repairs. And it doesn't have to be something that's fully broke. It could be like a stone is a little loose in its footings. Like they can help you with all of that there at Dylan Rings. So check them out today. You can always stop by 119 Brown Springs Road here in Montgomery. Again, that's 119 Brown Springs Road, just off of Atlanta Highway, kind of where the old fun zone used to be. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fella on the radio, sent you. I'm still triggered about the whole Biden thing. Like, I just go away. And it's the fact that it's The View. What a wretched show. They probably smell not good. No matter how much you perfume yourselves, you smell awful. Like that's just seeing it. Thank God nobody ever created smell-o-vision or whatever that would be. It's just nasty. Anyway, we'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
This is your roving reporter, and today I am talking with an elk. Hey man, Mr. Elk, I was just wondering, what do elk do to take care of their money? Well, like most smart folks, we call David Erdis. You mean Alabama's most favorite asset preservationist? That's him, man. We call him up at 334-279-7431 or
205-479-0839.
I see.
Yes, he is our preferred money man.
The money man with the money plan.
You've been paying attention.
Well, could you give us those numbers one more time?
334-279-7431 or 205-479-0839. And I just want to try to give you a heads up, man.
Oh, what's that?
I'm not an elk.
Not an elk, huh? Well, then, pray tell, what are you?
Knights of Columbus.
I am not even going to make a comment.
Well, the baby liked it.
Here at Adams Drugs, we let our customers do the talking. I'm here with Ronnie Taunton, who was a longtime customer of Adams Drugs, moved away for 3 years, and came back to town recently. Ronnie, what did you do for another pharmacy when you moved out of town?
When we moved to Fairhope, we were looking for a local. We did not want to go to a big box store. And we did find one, but the service was not up to par. Adams Drug really spoiled us.
What was it like to come back to Adams Drugs again?
It was very easy. We picked up the phone when we got back, came up to Prattville and called the branch there in Prattville, and they took that phone call and did the rest of it. We didn't have to do a thing. It was very simple. We're glad to be back with them. They're so efficient and customer service oriented.
Come in to any of our 12 Adams Drugs locations. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net to find the location nearest you. Adams Drugs is your independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Trustworthy, accurate, immediate. Carrying your voice across the river region. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Look who's here. Eddie Bader.
Hey, buddy.
How you doing?
A little warm now. It's hot outside.
Yeah, it is. You've been walking the fields?
A little bit. Had to show about 6 or 7 acres today with a great friend of mine down in Hope Hole. So
you showed up just in time. My fuse was getting shorter.
I could tell on my way in.
Shorter.
I wanted to call and say, buddy, I'm coming, Joey.
Man, the Biden thing just
coming.
set me off.
Okay, that's it. You know how they say Trump derangement syndrome? I get it because I have that with Biden still to this day. And then when I heard Jill say, "Oh, we did such a good job," are you serious?
Yeah, they're serious.
And like you said, you got to beg for somebody to say, "Hey, you did a good job," and that's where you went to get it at,
right? And then I look at the comments and somebody just puts "United States of Fascists," and it's like I don't think I want to become more popular online. Because it's just you're gonna have to listen to the same.
Yep.
Well, but it's fascinating. I have had like 1 or 2 viral moments, and what you learn is how many people have no original thoughts. They really can't see the other side of things, and to where they like hundreds of people will put up the same response, and so it's like, yeah, I got them. And especially the fascist thing, it's like I think y'all called Goldwater a fascist. I think y'all called. Hell, a lot of y'all probably called Ike a fascist. The very guy that helped defeat the fascists, you would probably call a fascist. A lot of the guys who died fighting the Nazis, you would probably call fascists.
At the same time, what really bothers me is these people, when they do that, they feel like they do. They feel like they got you. But they can't.
It's more annoying than anything.
Yeah, else. But when I see something online that bothers me, and I see it all the time, I just move on.
Yeah.
I've never felt so compelled that I must respond.
Right.
Never.
Well, and I also love, you remember the East German name for the Berlin Wall?
Not off the top of my head.
We called it the Berlin Wall.
Yeah, that's what we always called it.
They called it the Anti-Fascist Protection Rampart.
Oh, yes, that's right. The rampart.
So it's like, the commies are going to commie. And I mean, half these kids are so high on bad weed that they think, they're saving the world by whatever, playing with themselves.
The weed's much stronger nowadays, Joey.
It is. It's not your grandpapa's weed.
No.
It'll light you up and like real good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not here in Alabama.
Hey, what did you hear about the new pope?
Yes. Yes, our favorite Catholic texted me and let me know. And the American part kind of blew me away.
I was a little shocked at that.
I did not see that coming at all.
And a lot of folks are like, I think they hit the sweet spot because a lot of folks are like, yeah, he's really against transgender ideology and he's hardcore pro-life and all this stuff. But then he's also a commie on climate change and on the immigration question and stuff. And it's like, yeah, what? Okay.
I think it was Chris that called it, and I agree with him. Trump, there's some type of time traveling system there because Trump just seems to kind of call things a little bit too coincidental.
And actually, I didn't remember it in the moment, but Piers Morgan had on Steve Bannon.
Yeah.
Bannon picked provost or whatever, picked this guy as
really
a dark horse that could win. So Steve Bannon, maybe he's the one with the time machine.
Wow.
And of course, he's also a fascist, aren't we all?
In our own little way, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay.
I
You
mean,
can
I
call
get
me
that.
what you want.
Hurt my feelings.
Like all the different things that come up. And, y'all keep playing these stupid games. I really am at the point of like, will the Trump thing work? I don't know. I'm just happy about the vibe shift, the zeitgeist changing. And I think
That's
it
a big thing to
starts
me.
with Elon Musk buying Twitter. And is there a lot of nasty stuff out there, like actual, say, anti-Semitic, like racist hate and fashion?
Yes,
Well,
of
yes,
course.
there's a lot of that stuff out there.
There's always going to be, though, Joey.
And is there also a lot of violent, say, commie-motivated love for people that, murder folks in cold blood, like the whole Luigi Mangione thing?
Unfortunately,
yes,
you got those
of
people
course
too.
that's out there.
You got those people, too.
So I'm sitting here going, I don't know if the vibe shift is actually going to lead to prosperity, but I hope it does.
To me, it goes back to what Trump was saying about the golden era.
Yeah.
I mean, and this just kind of plays right into that.
Well, and what will happen is either it will just go downhill like Trump University, or it really will be the golden era. And the proof will be apparent in the next year.
I feel more confident with the golden era than
I do
anything
too.
else
If you
now.
put a gun to my head, I would say I think this is going to work.
Yeah.
Because this deal earlier that was just announced with the U.S. and the UK.
Which, again, now he was saying big partners and all that. I wasn't thinking UK. I was thinking someone else. You got me.
I think there are going to be some others soon to follow.
Do you think with that, do you think the UK is going to lean into some of their population issues they're having? Where in America now, how we've started the mass deportation of illegals. That's a huge problem over there. I don't know about the illegal end of it, but the mass importation. So I wonder if that's going to tie in.
It might. I mean, right now, the Labor government's the one that made this deal, Keir
Yep.
Starmer and folks, because I think they see the writing on the wall.
They
That
had to.
not only is this a way to open up markets a little bit and reset the deal, but I think it's more a way to focus on those crucial industries. Like, it's not just, we're opening up markets. It's like we have a complete common plan when it comes to steel and aluminum. We will have a complete common plan when it comes to pharmaceuticals. Like, this is aimed directly at China. And I think it's going to be a model that will go to all sorts of other nations, Japan, South Korea, Indonesia,
India.
India,
India's gonna be a
especially
big one,
surrounding China there in the East Pacific.
How long before Pakistan and India tell us, say, we need some weapons?
Oh, they're already there. And India claiming to kill 50 the last I saw. Man, that is...
Would you ever go to Kashmir?
I'm not interested in going to Kashmir. no.
I used to when I was younger and loved to travel. I thought that'd be a great place. However, that's just a danger zone. I forget what movie it was. It might have been Slumdog Millionaire. Like every day at 4:00 they have tea, but at 4:15 we're bombing, and they
Yeah. Well, and I would love to see the world, but there's a lot of places like I hope there's an actual deal and breakthrough with Iran.
Oh,
What an
yeah.
ancient culture and beautiful people in many ways. Like I would love to visit where you stayed, like in Turkey and stuff, but I'm a little nervous about going to a place like that.
I follow a guy on TikTok. He just did the hike across Turkey. Great guy too. And he literally did the hike across Turkey.
Yeah.
Older than me, probably 58, 59. And of course he documented it the whole time. It was amazing. He had more people welcoming him. Just flat out welcoming him. He stayed in homes, a few villas and a few hotels, but more homes than anything.
Right. Well, and I think the only thing that really gets us through, because the tribalism and butting heads across the board is rising up, is the way you appeal to people's better angels is you sell them a better mousetrap.
Yeah.
And it's not just useless crap you don't need. It's more like, no, we really can't have amazing major breakthroughs that improve the quality of life for folks and appeal to the better parts of our, say, divergent tradition. That said, there's a lot of folks that want to just fight.
Yeah,
and that's the history of people, right? Of human beings. So
exactly,
that might be the most likely outcome. But
that's an easier
we'll
solution too. It's always easier to fight.
Well, one thing I always go back to is one of my favorite historians, Arthur Herman.
Mm-hmm.
His first book, it's called The Idea of Decline in Western History. He's not saying decline will happen. It's more he mapped out, going all the way back to like the Romans and Polybius, but like in the late 1800s into the early 1900s, here's all these people, right-wing folks, left-wing folks, that predicted the decline of the West. That things are going to hell for this, that, and it could be like the Unabomber.
It's
like
always been that way.
technology and us destroying the environment is this eco-pessimism that even Al Gore represents to a certain degree. Could be the sort of left-wing identity politics. It could be, and how the people of different marginalized groups will rise up and destroy the white supremacist, patriarchal, whatever, West. Or it could come from a right-wing perspective, like you see the theories of Spengler and all the folks that kind of led to the Nazis and whatnot, or this, theory that people are becoming more atavistic and going back to their primal instincts, and we don't have men, we have men without chests right now, and we're not rising up. But if you actually look at it, and when you remember, people were saying that a long time ago, not just like now in 2025, they were wrong.
Over time, yeah. But that being said, just in my generation, me growing up, the whole men without chest thing starts to chime true a little bit.
But it's not the first time that's ever been said. And yes, there are some guys without chest, and we don't mean that literally necessarily.
But I see the softening of men, yes.
Right, but that goes on all the time. And what's dynamic about the United States in this country, the United States really is the exemplar of this, that as much you can theorize decline, there's something dynamic about the United States and our sort of our embrace of freedom in a way that's full of tension. That something Churchill said, we exhaust all wrong options before we finally get to the right one, but we do get to the right one. And so I'm at this point, I am optimistic, and it's not just Trump, is that I think you're seeing a breakthrough again in the zeitgeist, that the old Washington consensus is broken down. Sadly, the Democrats and some of the Republicans still want that game. They want that gravy train. Some of them really believe it. They're old Cold Warriors, they're old boomers, and they ain't changing.
No, they're not going to change.
But a lot of the folks coming up are changing. And I think we're going to see new things that will blow your hair back. We've covered it. Like that guy, the Neuralink thing with the guy with ALS who couldn't speak, who's nonverbal, and is now able to make videos and communicate with people.
Those things are amazing to me.
Stuff like that's going to be happening.
Yep.
And then there's also the possibility of these humanoid robots we've talked about. Did you see the video of the one going crazy in the factory?
Just going to say, did you see that one? See that one, Joey?
Damn.
That's why you always keep a water bottle with you.
Yeah, or maybe we need an actual kill switch on stuff like that.
Okay, now this is funny. Every industrial job I've ever had, any kind of dangerous equipment is a kill switch, is a red e-stop.
Right.
I have not seen that on one single production robot anywhere.
Well, and on these robots, it doesn't need to be on the robot.
No, it doesn't. But just
it needs to be a remote kill switch.
Right. I could wear it on my waist.
Right. But then the idea is and this is where I last conversation we had in studio with Katie Britt, where she's talking about China trying to win this race. Yeah. Imagine some Chinese company does win the race and creates the best humanoid robot, and they sell thousands and thousands and thousands of these things into the United States.
Apple iPhones, yeah.
And then they have a back door where they just go, boop,
Apple iPhones, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the iPhone's one thing. To have this thing that's completely mapped out your home, that's stronger than you. That's, you know what I'm saying? It's a little different than like backdoors for spying. It's like this thing could literally kill you and hold you hostage in your own home.
Oh, there's no doubt.
And
Dude,
I
I've
mean,
worked around robots for years. A lot of people think robots, especially now, they're somewhat humanized. Dude, it's still a machine. There's no emotion.
Yeah.
It just does what it's told or what it's thought it's told to do. One of the funniest examples was on these robots we used to work with, they have a button called return to home. All right. Well, what we didn't know at the time is when you tell that robot to return to home, come hell or high water, it's going to home. It's going there as quickly and as fast as it can. So you better not be in its way.
Right.
Yeah. Now you would think, hey, that's a great safety thing. But what we learned was that return to home button also had to be programmed. So it didn't go straight home. It went to a certain position that was safer than to the home position. Because those robots, I mean, I would see them literally pick up car bodies and throw it out the paint booth.
and so there's a dual nature, obviously.
Yeah.
To us, like especially technology is generally a neutral thing. And we'll see it go forward. I just, the more I watch this, I just have this basic optimism. And I'll put it more as a hope that it's not impossible for us to win, like everybody to win, that you really can see amazing breakthroughs that you least expect that defy what you might expect when you look at human history.
Right.
And in a strange way, this brash, bombastic, hyperbolic, adulterous, yada, yada, whatever you want to say about Trump, he's leading the way in many ways. And now we got an American Pope teaming up with him. And I'm sure they're going to be at loggerheads over all sorts of crap.
It's going to be hysterical, though.
Oh, it's going to be, yeah. But I'm looking for the Pope fights with Trump. Trump Pope fights, so good. So good.
Okay, except what if it goes the other way?
Like they become best buddies?
Yeah.
They might.
One of the things that I keep having to tell myself when you have anxiety is you're always worried about the worst case scenario. Flip it. What if it goes the other way?
Right. Yeah. This is what I'm saying. Yeah.
I know, but it doesn't work out for me that way either. So yeah, it's going to go to crap.
It's usually just the opposite of whatever you expect. So you expect the worst. Oh, it's good. You expect the best.
You expect the worst and hope for the best. That's what you can do.
Yeah. Manage your expectations. We'll see.
Or lower them, as we've been told by certain leaders.
Yeah, and so I'm still a little surprised that we got the American Pope, a dark horse that not many folks other than Steve Bannon said might be the Pope.
Have you heard any kind of world reaction, positive or negative, about it being an American?
Not world reaction, no. I haven't looked at. I mean, it's happened as I'm sitting here on air trying to fill time.
Yeah, I heard they got the smoke. I got a text. Hey, there's smoke.
Yeah, and then it's like the new Pope Leo spent years retweeting criticisms of Trump policy.
Oh, well.
Pope retweeted, J.D. Vance is wrong on Jesus. Trump, the Vatican already called me.
They're looking for a deal.
Oh, goodness gracious. Let's see what this says here. J.D. Vance has signaled his support for the newly elected Pope Leo XIV, despite the pontiff's years criticizing Trump policies and slamming Vance as wrong on religion. Cardinal Robert Prevost, the first ever American to be elected as Holy Father, made a point to share articles criticizing fellow Catholic Vance just months before he was chosen to lead the global church. On Thursday evening, of course, a crowd of pilgrims let out a triumphant roar of cheers after white smoke billowed from the Vatican.
I did hear the cheers.
Daggum, man.
That was a lot of people there.
So, throughout the church's 2,000-year history, Americans had often been passed up for the job because of the country's established global prominence and because we've only existed for about 250 of those 2,000
We're so
years.
immature.
By the way, I'm reading from a true rag, the U.S. Sun, which is a UK kind of thing.
okay.
It's like very tabloidy, sensational. However, Prevost, 69, was a unique choice as he was a naturalized citizen of Peru, where he served as a seminary leader and apostolic administrator. So let me get to, like, what did Trump say? What did Trump say? Okay, articles criticizing Vance, yada, yada, yada. On a post on X, Vance wrote, "Congratulations to Pope Leo XIV, the first American Pope on his election. I'm sure millions of American Catholics and other Christians will pray for his successful work leading the church. May God bless him." And before that, Trump took to Truth Social saying, "It's such an honor to realize he's the first American Pope."
That is an honor.
What excitement and what a great honor for our country. I look forward to meeting Pope Leo XIV. It will be a meaningful moment. Trump revealed the Vatican had already called him following the Pope's election, Pope Leo's election, and stressed that it was a great honor. To have the Pope from the United States of America, that's a great honor. I'm watching it, and they say he's from America. That's great. Well, we'll see. We shall see. How about this? Gotta hit this break. All right, be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hello, everyone. Robbie Pelt with Capital City Roofing. If you think about it, your home is your biggest investment in life. Your roof covers your home, so why jeopardize your biggest investment on a roofer you don't know anything about when you can deal with a reputable roofing company like Capital City Roofing? We have an A+ Better Business rating and the best manufacturers and workmanship warranties available. We do all residential and commercial roofing applications that are certified through the manufacturer to ensure you get the best material and workmanship money can buy. We also have your project in our best interest before and after construction has been done. Don't hesitate to call us if you have any roofing issues or questions. We will match any of our competitors' price and give you the same great workmanship warranty. We also give free estimates. Give us a call today and let us show you the difference. 277-3311. That's 277-3311. Or you can check us out on the web at www.capitalcityroofing.com. Capital City Roofing. We capitalize the roofing industry.
At Guardian Credit Union, it's not just about the dollars and cents. It's about relationships. If you want it, so do we. Need more adventure? So do we! Look forward to escaping the ordinary?
So do we.
Want to sharpen your skills in the kitchen?
So do we.
Want your kid to stick with music lessons?
So do we.
I think they got it, guys.
So do we.
Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity. NMLS 912757.
This is Jonathan with Oswalt's Apparel and Footwear in Prattville. With all that's changed in the last decade, I really thought that radio advertising was dead, but I was wrong. We opened our store during the pandemic, and we wouldn't have been near successful without advertising on Blue Water. Practically every day, someone comes in for the first time and tells us they heard about Oswalt's on the radio. I highly recommend advertising with Blue Water.
Did you know that radio is the #1 reach platform in all of media? It's true. Call us to find out how to put radio's #1 reach to work for your business. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is #1 in the #2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing.
Hey, this is Robbie Clark. Stay cool with a spring tune-up with Clark Heating, Air and Plumbing. Don't wait. Schedule today. Give us a call at 334-277-2125. Alabama certification number 09098.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. Not exactly a Chamber of Commerce forecast for the next several days, with the probability of precipitation pretty high, but it's not going to rain all the time. It's just a parade of storm systems with the threat of showers and thunderstorms overnight tonight, low 65. Tomorrow's high near 80. There will be periods of showers and thunderstorms at times Friday, Saturday, Sunday, maybe even Monday. Highs over the weekend in the upper 70s. Our weather app will keep you on top of the action because it has radar, future radar, and any push notifications for severe weather alerts. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
No one wants to wait on service for an overhead door. With 20 years in the industry, you now have access to the best with All Access Overhead Door. All Access Overhead Doors offers prompt professional service at affordable prices on all service and new garage doors for residential and commercial locations. All Access Overhead Door serves the river region and can take care of whatever you need when it comes to your overhead door. Remember, you have access to the best. All Access Overhead Door. Call and schedule an appointment today. 320-2440. And like them on Facebook. They sell the best and service the rest.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Final moments of the program here. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the conversation. That's 334-272-9228. Just a local news story real quick. Dave's Hot Chicken coming to Montgomery.
I saw that.
Do we really need another chicken place, though? What are they going to put out in East Chase?
Probably so, but have you ever been to a chicken place in Montgomery that's not crowded?
It's true.
And we got some good chicken places here.
There's
Some really good
Guthries
ones.
and Huey Magoo's.
Yeah,
and,
that one tastes like dirty grease to me, but a lot of people like it.
No, the Huey's is the best.
Just
I've
not-
tried a lot of them recently. I mean, Chick-fil-A is always great, but that's a different thing.
Yeah, that's a whole, yeah.
A good chicken picnic place.
How have you ever had like Nashville hot chicken, the hot chicken?
Oh, sure. It's good.
It's good, but it's hot, dude.
So that's what is in the name. Dave's Hot Chicken.
Hold on, let me ask you something. Are you so fat now that you're doing news breaks on fast food restaurants opening up? Is that where your fat status is right now?
No, somebody sent it to me, so I think you're accusing them.
Well, I'm going to give you some good news. You know your fat tax idea?
Mhm.
So Hannah and I were ordering T-shirts last night.
Mhm.
And I said, hey, I need a couple 2X. I'm a big guy.
Mhm.
2X is more, Joey. More. There's a fat tax on 2X. It's two.
Well, it's more material.
There's more material between a youth and a large too, but they don't hit them people. They hit
Yeah, but there's a certain
fatties like me.
no, there's a certain it's on the margins. Like you're using so much material for one shirt.
The shirts are like say $10 a piece. $2 more.
So you still
for
wear
the
like a
material.
2X?
I do. I like it to look big. I'm not like one of them guys like to show off my games.
Like this is a large.
Yeah, you need a bigger shirt, but that's fine. There's
No,
nothing wrong with it.
What it needs to be like I'm a lesbian in the 90s or something.
Working for me right now.
I guess that is your style. Hey, look, it's Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet on the line. Hey, Ray.
What's up, Ray?
Hey guys, hey, you know what would be perfect chicken joint?
Hmm.
Any chicken joint with hot honey.
Yeah, I do like the hot honey.
Yeah, it does sound good.
Yes.
Would that not be marvelous?
Yes.
Chick-fil-A and hot honey.
Mm-hmm.
You would never be. I mean, it would be in front of the store with so many people lined up to buy that.
Man, that sounds good right now.
Mm-hmm.
I know, but I do want to. Y'all were talking about men not having, like, I don't know, flat chest or just soft, right?
Yeah, soft. Yes.
You know what I'm sick and tired of? Soft journalists
Hey, I'll
that
tell you
won't
that.
ask Katie Britt if she needs a floor.
Hey.
Somebody muted my mic, Ray.
I'm just throwing it out there. I
Well,
think
no, but
both
when
of
you texted
yesterday-
me, the text said, I can pull it back up. The text said, ask Brent if, like.
Oh, so you're
Well,
confused.
You're dealing with Ray Bowles. I can't spell. And it was text,
Well, I didn't
and
know who
never spelled
Brent
everything right.
was.
You Brent. I mean, come on. You knew Katie Brent was coming on in 2 minutes.
I was going to do it, Ray, but he muted my mic.
Sometimes I'm not that quick, Ray.
Oh, y'all are killing me.
Yeah, and I'm like, who's this woman named Brent?
As
never
Andy
put it
says,
together.
Read in Rayism. Figure it out. Don't forget I'm over the library board. I was pulling for y'all, and then when you called yesterday, I had all the alpha people in here doing. I do training seminar for all their new alpha adjusters, and they were all in here, so we were training them on the floors of what to look for and how to price them when y'all called. So that's why I missed you yesterday.
Well, I hope you gave him some education, buddy.
I did. I said, hey, look, here's my theory when it comes to adjusters, especially alpha. Now, I deal with a bunch of insurance, but alpha is the premium when it comes to claims. Just pay them what the floor is worth.
Yep.
That's simple. And so we go over everything, and so every floor is worth something different and get a good knowledge of it. And if you're not sure, call me. I'll be glad to tell you what that floor should be worth
There you go.
so that they can put the same floor back down again. And we spend a good hour with them. They're really good folks. Got that done. But if y'all need a floor, just call us 285-8117. We'll come out and give you a free measurement, even though Joey's not going to ask Katie Brett if I can do a floor for her.
No, you didn't put Katie in front of it. You just said, ask Brent. And I'm like, I don't know.
I was driving. I was actually on my phone driving. You know, push the button and say, hey, text so-and-so, and they never come out right. A Southern accent.
Again, that's 285-8117. And when you call them up, be sure to tell them you heard Ray Bowles on the radio. No, that happens to me too. The other day, I'm like trying to find the right route because of potential traffic in the morning. I said, hey Siri, ask about directions to the Alabama State House, and it gave me directions to Longhorn Steakhouse.
Oh,
so
good choice
so
though.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, when Tommy Tuberville runs for actual governor,
Yeah.
I will get that right. Ask him if I can recarpet his office.
Ooh,
Some
good idea.
With floors. We can do inlays. I can do all kinds of stuff. Logos.
Logos. That's a
Call
good
us,
idea.
285-8117.
Appreciate it, Ray.
Thank you, Ray. See you, brother.
Thanks, guys.
You know, maybe when he's running for governor, Tuberville,
Mhm.
we could have Ray in studio that day to talk about stuff,
a
and
good
then
idea.
he could sort of
That's a really good idea.
talk to him.
That's genius.
Mm-hmm.
That's putting folks together.
Yeah,
right
because
there.
me just asking him straight up in an interview, that's
That's what you got me for. You just send me the signal. I'll be the odd guy.
oh yeah, no, I already had to tell you off yesterday. You were ready to jump in
No.
at the end there.
Just want to say hey.
No, with the fat shaming, you're ready to jump in.
So you caught that, huh?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was like, don't even start. No, I got a ways to go.
No, dude, you're looking good, man.
No, man,
You're
I
down
gotta-
to like a kid's large shirt. You're looking good.
It's not a kid's large, you dope.
Did you have those sleeves taken in a little bit?
No.
Okay. And then you're looking good. Those gains are showing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
thanks,
yeah.
brother. Gay. Anyway, what did we learn today?
Oh,
We got a new pope.
yeah, we got a new pope. And it's American.
Yeah,
And it's
American pope.
Correct me if I'm wrong. First time ever American, correct? We've never
Yeah.
had an American pope.
Never had an American pope.
Okay. That's
Well, we're a young country.
making history.
And we learned that Trump got a new big trade deal done with the UK, and that more to come.
More to come. That's a plus.
We learned that the Bidens are on a media tour trying to
Oh,
be
that's
like, we did all the great things and look how awful things are now. And I guess some people believe them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't. How can you though, man?
Well, because that's the nature of politics. It's like, yeah, my team's the greatest, and they never did a thing wrong.
But so this is going to be the new thing now. When a president is no longer president,
Yeah,
he'll
no.
go around and bash.
It's not even new. So it's been done.
I don't like it. I like it when
I guess
you-
W shut up.
right.
for a while.
But I thought that's how the tradition went. You don't.
Did you ever hear Clinton criticize W?
Not that I remember.
Yeah.
Not that I remember. That was good times. We were all
Right.
having good times then.
Right. And Bill was probably too busy getting some.
Man, some of the stories. Yeah. There's a couple of CIA guys that I follow on TikTok that they've got some great Bill Clinton stories.
Now, one thing I wish I had asked Katie Britt about
Yeah.
was her bestie for the resty, John Fetterman. You see all these hit
Dude,
pieces
they're
against
going
him?
after him bad now.
Yeah.
Kind of saw that coming though.
Yeah, I just there are only so many topics I could broach.
I think what
anyway.
happened is his twin quit.
His twin quit.
Yep. The guy they had replace him quit. They put the real Fetterman back in. They're going to get rid of him.
No, he's too much of a maverick. Seriously,
That's a nice way
that's
to put
what.
that,
No,
Joey,
that's what this is. Okay, when I say Siri, Siri doesn't pop up, but when I say seriously, Siri does pop up. This stupid robot.
You got a new CIA person. That's all.
And by the way, somebody on the stream commented that what if the robot knows to get the kill switch from you? That's Mark Cumby saying that.
Hmm.
And the Romex Angler says fat status is a real thing.
Robots coming at me. I'm getting in the water. I just walk up like when the bees come, they chasing you. Jump in the water.
Then Romex asked, Joey, did I hear you sing at a tune earlier? It sounded like holding at 180. I still don't have a lady. Whoa. Now 185. I'm too white to speak jive. I love that song, says Romex.
You don't speak jive?
No.
Wow.
That's out of style, too.
Nah, it comes in handy sometimes, Joey.
I try not to use the latest lingo. I just use the words I use.
Well, you use good words. I'm not going to knock you there.
Yeah, no,
You're
but
a smart guy.
You don't hear me talking about like, I've lost, 40 pounds, no cap.
Yeah, I have trouble with that.
I don't mess with that.
Nor do you say anything like, by the way the crow flies. It's only about a mile, by the way the crow
I
flies.
mean, sometimes I'll say things that I think are just fun to say, like besties for the resties. I think it's just stupid.
It is stupid.
Right.
It is
I'll
stupid.
talk. I love the term, the idiom, screw the pooch. I don't know why that one tickles me too.
Kind of comes out regularly.
Anyway, you sticking around with Greg today?
Yeah, I think I'm doing Greg and Pamela. I think Pamela's going to let me.
You're
sit in
playing the
chair for a
Pamela
bit.
role?
I think so.
You
I
should
didn't
have
bring
worn
them-
black.
I should have.
Yeah.
I didn't even think I should have leaned into it.
Yeah, Eddie's supposed to be filling in.
I didn't wear any black, Pamela.
in the world? You were told ahead of time.
You're supposed to dress like Uncle Fester.
I didn't think I should have. I totally should have. But I was going to show the land. I knew it was going to get hot. But now I feel like I missed an opportunity.
Yeah, you should have brought it.
Really?
Oh,
Well,
that looked
okay. This would be just all white.
That looked good. That looked real good. Anyway, y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour's next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. President Trump has agreed to tariffs on UK autos, steel, and aluminum, a planned trade deal with Britain, which would buy more American beef and streamline its